Hello, and welcome to I Will Say This Though. And today we are going to be ranking every species of penguin, by which we mean every incarnation of the comic book character known as the Penguin.
Also known as Oswalt Cobblepot and variations upon that name. We're actually doing it this time.
Yes, we're... Okay, so let's drop the bit. Yeah, we're actually ranking all the versions of the character the Penguin.
The DC villain character and occasional anti-hero known as the Penguin.
Yeah, unlike the clickbait version we did before. For April Fool's Day. To be clear, I don't know when we're gonna post this. We're recording this in September of 2025. Maybe by the time we post it, there's gonna be 10 more versions of the Penguin.
So forgive us if this is a bit out of date, but it's as up to date as possible now.
Yeah, as possible right now.
Now, Jimmy, you have prepared thoughts on all of these. I do not know all of these ones. I'll give my thoughts when they come up.
If you can see, these are very I made this tier list. And I tried to be as comprehensive as possible because listen, the Penguin is my favorite supervillain.
Your very favorite?
Yeah, and I have a reason for this. So to put things in context, when Alan Moore wrote The Killing Joke, years later, he kind of disowned it, and he's like, it wasn't that good. And the problem with The Killing Joke is there isn't really anybody like the Joker or Batman in real life, so it's not really that meaningful. You know what I mean? And
I have a similar criticism with a lot of Alan Moore's work.
Yeah.
It's not that meaningful.
Yeah. And I kind of understand because, yes, there are maybe there are some insane terrorists in the world or whatever, but for the most part, the Joker isn't that it's not really commenting on any real people in real life that's actually a threat to you. But there are so many people like the Penguin.
Yeah, there are.
Everything wrong with the world is because of little fucking men who try to feel big by hurting others. You know what I mean?
Some versions of the Penguin are more that than others. Some of them have, I noticed the Paul Williams Penguin on here, and he's got a bit of humanity. He's not the absolute.
Yeah, I mean, no.
Guy.
They all have humanity, but that's kind of what I'm arguing is that this is what humans are. These are Penguin is one of the most human comic book villains because he sort of represents the bad in us. You know what I mean?
I think because they make him so physically grotesque, he ends up being more psychologically and character-wise normal than most of the other Batman villains.
Because he's sort of just motivated by insecurity and selfishness and stuff like that. And I feel that's a very relatable thing that people feel, especially the people who, not to name drop, but Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not necessarily physically small men, but certainly emotionally small, stunted.
Toxic masculinity. I need to make myself feel big by being up on top of everyone else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That sort of bullshit. And I think that's sort of what he represents, and you can see he always has the top hat. He's someone who he's a lowbrow person who dresses himself with the symbols of wealth to make himself feel better.
Anachronistic symbols of wealth.
Well, we'll get to it because over the years it changes. Because
true.
In the Golden Age Penguin, I don't think it was that anachronistic. Maybe a little anachronistic.
It was certainly old-fashioned at the time, but not as
Gilded
wild.
Age kind of.
Yeah, it was the 20s and 30s. Rich people were still dressing like
in
that.
In the 40s, which is when he was created. 42, yeah. So maybe it was a little anachronistic.
It was certainly old-fashioned. I don't know if it would be anachronistic old-fashioned or just regular old-fashioned, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But, so anyways, that's sort of my reason why I love the Penguin so much is because, especially now, I just feel like he's such a good representation of where the problems of society come from. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And he's usually not depicted as genuinely insane the way most Batman villains are. He's just a bad guy.
He's just a bad guy with sympathetic origins.
Some versions more sympathetic than others, definitely.
But yeah, let's get into it because we have a lot to go through.
Yeah, no, like I say, you have prepared opinions on all of these. I have not. Jimmy puts more work into this channel overall because I am busy working on my own channel. I've been reading old magazines.
That's not true at all. Danny does all the editing and stuff. I refuse to take more credit for this.
I do the editing.
Yeah. But anyways,
you do the prep work.
Yeah. But yeah. So in this case, so I definitely have notes. So let's just begin with Golden Age Penguin. Now, so I just took notes for each of these. Golden Age Penguin sort of it's interesting how a lot of the things that we would associate with the Penguin, such as the fact that he's like a little guy who's often underestimated and he like runs on insecurity, it's all there in his first appearance, even though obviously it's not as like pathological, like it's not as like he's not like a deep character.
Yeah, the Golden Age stuff, from what I've read, the characters are certainly not as emotionally fleshed out as they will be later on,
but like the bits of it are there. So his first thing, he steals diamonds, he frames Batman. Batman and Robin laugh at him and call him pudgy.
That's not very.
Yeah, it's very. If I can find I'll send you the panel if I can, and you'd say they're just being like super.
These guys are supposed to be the heroes.
Yeah, but then so it's kind of satisfying.
It's almost like that time Batman worked to protect internment camps.
Yes,
and make sure Japanese American people had to go to them and weren't allowed to be free.
Yes, exactly. So it's like so they're mean to Penguin. So it's you kind of end up like from now you kind of end up rooting for Penguin a little, where he like they underestimate him, he gets the better of them. Obviously he's defeated in the end of his first appearance.
Sure.
But he also a mob boss laughs at him and he kills the mob boss and takes over the mob.
Good for him.
Yeah, I know. Like he like everything from the start where he's just this guy who's underestimated, but he's actually very dangerous, is there.
Everyone roots for a good underdog.
Yeah. And I kind of like that's another reason why I like him, is even though he's like I said, he's a symbol of everything wrong with humanity, he's also like a very like root forable underdog, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know about everything wrong with humanity, but everything wrong with a certain kind of
humanity. I think and that's his first appearance. Later on in the Golden Age Penguin, this is my favorite Penguin story from the Golden Age Penguin. Batman and Robin, or some other character, I forget, they laugh at him using an umbrella. So then he switches to fishing rods as his tool. And I think it still kind of makes sense because he's
so
the Penguin.
Terrified of being laughed at?
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of relatable, but it's like...
I guess so.
But I think it's funny because that still makes sense for a penguin to be using a fishing rod, because penguins
not as cool,
fish.
Though.
Not as cool. But for one issue, he switches from umbrellas to fishing rods. And then I just thought that's a great symbol of like representation of like his insecurity, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
And just it's like they're right there in the 1940s. And then he makes a fake talking penguin, like a robot penguin, and he does ventriloquism or something. I think the twist is that it wasn't actually talking; he was just controlling it through ventriloquism.
That's classic AI bro move.
That's classic AI.
Look at this amazing AI I've created. Spoiler alert, it's not really AI, it's run by a guy in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
And people have been doing that since the 19th century. Have you heard of the mechanical chess-playing Turk?
Oh, yeah.
It's like this robot Turkish man who plays chess, but actually it's all run by a guy hidden in a box.
Weirdly enough, that's more impressive than if you just had a robot.
A robot who could play chess really well. Yeah. Like, they have built that. It is impressive.
Yeah. But it's like, it's less impressive. It's more impressive than, I fooled people into thinking I have. You know what I mean?
If you went to see, like, a stage magician, and you learned afterwards, this guy is literally magic.
Yeah, it's
and all he's using his powers for is moving rabbits around in hats. Yeah. That wouldn't be, you'd be like, okay, great, hooray.
It's like the Prestige, you know what I mean?
If you lived in a world where magic was real, that would be so boring. But because we know it's a trick, that makes it impressive, because we don't know how it was done. We know that there is a trick, but we don't know what it was. Yeah. And that's cool and fun.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, two other things I have about Golden Age Penguin. There was this one issue where the other criminals, for his birthday, they got him like mockingbird gifts, and he got really mad about that, which I think is weird. It's like, because your whole thing is that, because this was before the Penguin was an insult to him. This was when he I am the Penguin. Yeah. Okay. So I think it's kind of weird that people were like, he's like, oh, I'm so mad that you're getting me bird gifts.
I like the way the Colin Farrell Penguin hates being called Penguin.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
I'm sure that's true of some of the others, but...
And also another issue, he teams up with the Joker, but then Batman goads them into like competing with each other, and then that's how they're defeated. I think that's also a very Penguin-y storyline. Anyways, I'm gonna put him in B, because a lot of the stuff that like we all know and love about the Penguin are there, but like it's the first one. We should like, I feel like usually I like putting first incarnations in B because there's place for them to go afterwards. You know what I mean? Because then future writers build on top of them.
It's integral, but it's not quite the peak yet, and it shouldn't be expected to be the peak yet.
Yeah, exactly. So now this one, so I went through by incarnations. So whenever there's like a crisis that changes the universe.
Like a reboot?
Yeah, I would change it as a new one. Not necessarily by the ages. So this is Silver Age 2 Bronze Age, because they're technically the same character.
Okay.
Whereas this is Golden Age, which is Earth 2. Even though it's the first one, it's Earth 2. And then this is Earth 1. I know.
I'm going to pretend I know about all these different timelines, because I don't.
It's a multiverse. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
This is Earth 1, which is Silver Age 2 Bronze Age, which is 1954 to 1986, a long period. And one of the interesting things I learned about going back and reading all these old comics is there was like a 10-year period where the Penguin just didn't show up. Like, that's how long these characters have been for, where there was just like, they just took a break for 10 years, and then they're reintroduced. And
I wish they do that with the Joker.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm sick of that guy. We need a moratorium.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Anyways, so Silver Age Penguin to Bronze Age Penguin, I kind of, this is kind of a sucky version. Because it's kind of more of the same of the Golden Age, but also the Bronze Age Penguin, he's very weird. He does like stuff like the Riddler. Like, this was back when all the Batman villains were the Riddler. Like, they would just leave like riddles, except his were bird themed, you know?
Yeah.
So it wasn't really that fun. It was just like, you're just the fucking Riddler, except you're bird themed. Like, what's the point?
I mean, if we want that, I mean, we'll get there in a second. But the masterpiece that is Batman 1967. The first Batman movie, when they get attacked by a shark over the sea, and they deduce from that, well, the sea is where penguins live, and that shark was pulling Batman's leg like a joke. And C is also the first letter of cat, and it all adds up to a terrible riddle. So the only possibility is that all four of those villains are working together. Like, chef's kiss.
But I feel like that one sort of makes sense because the Riddler is there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's, but anyways. So this one I'm gonna put in C because like I said, he just kind of feels like a. But I will say this though, this is when he got the name Oswalt Cobblepot. So before he was just the Penguin.
Yeah, they weren't really big on giving the villains actual names back then.
But it's funny because you read back the first story we get Oswalt Cobblepot. Like, you know, have you watched Seinfeld?
Yeah.
You know how Kramer, you never know his first name, and then when you finally find out it's Cosmo, it's a joke, like, haha, you have this dumb name.
And everyone's like, wow, that's his name.
Yeah, and the joke is it's a dumb name.
Yeah.
Same thing, Oswald Cobblepot, that was the original gag, is that, this villain, and so what happened was...
But it suits him so well.
Yeah, it does suit him very well.
Like when Sonic the Hedgehog's real name was revealed as Ogilvy Maurice.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think that's canon anymore.
Okay.
It was in the Archie comics.
But yeah, like it does suit him well. And it's so funny, the story where it's revealed is because his Aunt Miranda, who doesn't know he's a criminal, came to Gotham.
That's brilliant.
And his Aunt Miranda's like, oh, Oswald, how are you? And Batman and Robin just following them, like, hey, what's going on? Are they up to something? But no, he's just showing his Aunt Miranda around the town.
Brilliant.
Without, and trying to hide the fact that he's a crook. And in Bronze Age,
that
Penguin,
sounds like a great sitcom episode.
It is. Bronze Age Penguin steals Pentagon plans to sell to the Russians.
Okay.
But then double crosses the Russians and sells them back to the Pentagon. I guess that's kind of cool.
That's very Bronze Age.
Yeah, but
like the Cold War is in full effect.
Yeah. But overall, he wasn't used that much, and like other than these two stories where I remember across this like
Penguin is definitely not a communist. Dude's a capitalist through and through.
Yeah, but like this 30-year period, he was used very sparingly, and when he was kind of a Riddler knockoff. So yeah, he goes in C. Now we're going to talk about Burgess Meredith Penguin.
Hell yeah, Burgess Meredith. I insist on S tier.
I'm going to put him in A. Because I want to leave S tier or a whack tier. Even though Burgess Meredith is where
he's the reason we call it that.
Yeah. But it's just he's
so good.
He's held back by a few things. Like we discussed, there are moments where he's just kind of like the Riddler.
Well, in the movie at least, they get mad at the Riddler because he keeps leaving clues behind.
Yeah. But even like I watch every Penguin episode of the TV show. So,
all right. He's so good.
He is very good. But he's my two favorite things. One is the movie. My favorite thing in the movie is when he dresses up as
Commodore Schmidlap.
Yeah, but the whole point is Batman and Robin have an argument over whether or not he is the Penguin.
Yeah.
And then because of that, they're like, oh, let's take him to the Batcave to do a DNA test. As in his whole plan
is to get into the Batcave.
Yeah, was to dress up kind of like a different character, but still kind of
so
like...
even though it doesn't fool them, it works anyway.
It fools them just enough, like, to get him into the Bat. If it was
funny.
If it was too much or too little, the plan wouldn't work. And I think that's so brilliant. And also...
I think if they were convinced he was Commodore Schmidlap, they would have taken him to the Batcave.
Why?
Because that's what he was saying. Like, you need to take me to the Batcave.
Maybe,
I'm Commodore Schmidlap.
But I don't remember, but like, no, that's so fucking brilliant that it was like, oh, I look just enough like the Penguin, but not quite.
Can we also take a moment to appreciate the device in that movie, the thing that can, like, quickly dehydrate people and turn them into dust and then rehydrate them, that comes back in Batman Begins? It's what they use to spread the fear gas?
Yes.
The water dehydrator machine?
I mean, it obviously doesn't rehydrate people into humans, but
it's,
still. Like,
it's toned down, but it is the same machine. And Batman Dark Knight Rises has a plot revolving...
trying to get rid of a bomb.
Some days he just can't get rid of a bomb. I'm sure I've mentioned this before on the channel.
But what I do want to point out, the main episode that I want to point out is a two-parter, His Honor the Penguin and Dishonor the Penguin.
I think basically every episode is a two-parter.
Yeah. But this one is when he runs for mayor. And
I think I've seen that one.
It's both prescient and also completely
because that's also the plot to Batman Returns.
Yeah, but it's like he's running for mayor and Batman's running Batman as Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
Not Bruce Wayne is running against him. And the whole thing is, the Penguin's putting on this big show and he's talking down to them and he's like having all these cheap slogans and Batman's running on policies and because the people of Gotham are smart enough to know that people should vote based on policy and not fancy slogans and not elect a crook.
Penguin wins, doesn't he?
No. Penguin loses and Batman wins, and it's a treat because for some reason Batman has.
That's not prescient at all.
No, it's prescient in that.
Well, I guess city voters have that kind
of
sense.
No. I'm saying it's prescient, but also not prescient. So the first half is very prescient. That like, oh yes, this fucking charlatan is gonna run.
This man that we already know is a criminal who has a history of crime.
And Robin even has a line where he's like, I can't believe a convicted felon. This is an actual line is allowed to run for office.
I thought convicted felons were barred from holding any official office.
I suspect Penguin has done his civics homework well, Robin.
and
yet he loses. How naive of them.
He loses in the episode, and then immediately the Penguin's like, "Oh, I didn't lose. This was all rigged. This was all rigged." Wow. That's very prescient. Now, the end of the episode, it is very much supposed to be like a commentary on politics because there's this joke where it's like both the Democratic Party and Republican Party, like the federally, call Batman and try to get him to run for. Batman wins Gotham City's election, and then he hands over party to like an actual normal mayor.
I don't think you can do that.
But then the federal Republican Party and the federal Democratic Party, and this was like before. This was like when Lyndon B. Johnson was still in office.
Yeah,
they both call Batman, try to get him to run, and there's this funny line where Batman's like, they're not named Democrat and Republican, but he's like, oh, I thought you already had a candidate, in reference to then current President Lyndon B. Johnson. So the joke is he's so good politically that they're trying to toss out Lyndon B. Johnson and get Batman to run for the Democrat
Party. And the Republicans
Party.
Want him to run against.
Yeah. Republicans have also wanted him to run against Lyndon B. Johnson.
I would say that in the 1960s, this is back. I mean, it's before the rise of what
Nixon.
We now call like the conservative right. But like, who were the Republicans running? Like Barry Goldwater.
Yeah.
Whose policy was we should seriously consider a first nuclear strike against the Russians.
Yeah.
So like they were already crazy. It wasn't necessarily right wing crazy, but it was crazy.
Yeah, but
he was basically General Ripper from Dr. Strangelove.
But it's funny because like after that episode came out, Lyndon B. Johnson did actually step down. It was replaced by. It was supposed to be Robert Kennedy, but Robert Kennedy got shot and replaced by Hubert Humphrey. Anyways, so that's why I'm putting him in A, because that's such a great episode where he's so prescient.
That sounds S tier to me.
Let's put him in A for now.
All right, but I will argue for putting him up to S tier.
Yeah. Okay, this is Ted Knight and the animated. Like the first animated Penguin,
like Super Friends and stuff.
Kind of, it's same vibe. It's not. It's the I forget the actual name of the show. We'll put it up. It's like Batman and Robin Adventures, something like that.
Yeah. The 70s, 60s maybe.
Yeah, he's basically I don't know. So okay, here's my thing. I don't remember much. The animation's real shit.
Yeah.
Penguins think he's their leader, like actual animals. The penguin thinks he's the leader.
The 1970s was not a good time for animation overall.
I don't even remember if it was the 1970s or 60s, but what I remember,
the late 60s wasn't a good time for animation either.
So Burgess Meredith, he's a penguin, but he's
a funny-looking guy.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be a penguin, but he goes whack, whack, whack like a duck.
Penguins make that noise too, don't they?
I think it was... I don't know. I don't think so.
Because most cartoon penguins you see look more like ducks than penguins. They're given like a broad duck-like bill.
Let's play the clip that the non-musical penguin that we played.
Okay.
They say the holy water's watered down.
But Ted Knight's animated penguin, he's called the Penguin. He makes a noise like an owl. He goes hoo 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 for some reason.
Huh.
And I don't understand why that was a choice.
Who is Ted Knight? Is Ted Knight the animator? Or
No. He's the voice actor.
Okay.
He's from he plays a character on Mary Tyler Moore.
Okay, I never watched that show.
But that's mainly the thing I remember.
I'm not
from
old
him.
enough for this shit.
I'm not either. He does a Strangers on a Train plot with Joker, and that's kind of all I remember other than shitty animation. I don't know. I'll put him C, I guess. Kind of just like like he's fine. He's not like bad. Right. He's just nothing really notable about him. Now this one,
yeah, this guy's grotesque.
This is the Penguin from. So back to the comic version. This is after Crisis on Infinite Earths. There's like a new condensed Earth timeline, and this is post-Crisis Penguin, which is Penguin from 1986 all the way to the New 52 2011. This is sort of where the Penguin became the Penguin that we know today. You know, where there's a bigger emphasis on his gangster sort of thing. This is where he gets the Iceberg Lounge.
Okay, Club Penguin.
Yeah, Club Penguin. And this is sort of where he's sort of known as like the main like gangster underbelly of Penguin.
Yeah, where he's like the information broker who starts trying to stay neutral.
Yeah, where it's both good because I find him very interesting as a character, but also bad because it makes it harder to write Batman stories with the Penguin, if that makes sense. Because superhero stories work on a formula of there's a status quo, an enemy comes to like disrupt the status quo, and then the superhero has to stop them. You know what I mean?
Penguin becomes
part of the status quo. So it's harder and harder because he sort of like has an understanding with Batman, like I'll give you information, and in exchange you turn a blind eye to some of my like lesser bad crimes.
Yeah,
you know
which doesn't sound very Batman to me.
Well, it kind of does to me because it's sort of like because it's sort of explored where it's like, you know, lives are saved because Batman has this information.
There are ways to do it well, but it relies on Batman making a huge compromise that is counter to his nature.
I think because Batman is like, unlike Superman, who can do anything, Batman has to make these compromises. I think like I like the sort of moral and like the moral difficulty of this situation where he has to make compromises in order to like save the biggest possible number of lives.
I'm not saying a writer shouldn't have Batman do that, but I'm saying they should make it very emotionally hard for him to agree to this. I would write a whole thing about how he doesn't want to make this deal, but he eventually realizes he has no choice.
We'll get to it.
All right.
The version that I want to talk about. But this version, let's see, anything else? I just wrote like a bunch of notes of various stories. It's also where he becomes, you know how he becomes sort of like an incel? This is also sort of where he becomes the beginning of that, where he like kidnaps like a soap opera actress he has a crush on and stuff like that, kind of gross like that. He randomly quotes Shakespeare. It's where he starts to become really pretentious and tries to like, I'm very sophisticated. Well, you know, he was always sort of
there
like that.
There were shades of that before, but...
there's this one thing where he's
Is this like the first time it becomes a facade rather than something genuine?
It was always a facade. It was always a facade because he was never... I think this was where he sort of became like, oh, I came from like an old family, like the Cobblepot family used to be very rich.
Yeah.
And whereas before he was just like a crook who was wearing a top hat. I think
inferred just from his overall attitude and showing Aunt Miranda around that he's probably comes from money.
I think it was more implied that he was just like a guy with... like a middle class, because Aunt Miranda wasn't like rich.
Oh, okay.
She was just like a normal lady. So like I said about how he's like, it's hard to write stories for him because he's just like a guy, part of the status quo. There's a story where he's just like, oh, I'm bored of being just a comfortable rich guy. I'm just gonna go out and commit like hands-on crimes just for fun. And you can sort of tell that it's sort of like, oh, the writers are realizing, oh, it's harder to write stories with the Penguin.
Yeah.
Because he's just so comfortable now with this like relationship with the Batman. Oh, there's this one. Okay, I'm just gonna point out random things. He was one drawn to look like Richard Nixon.
Oh, I absolutely see that.
Yeah.
And the original Penguin, certainly Burgess Meredith, and probably a bunch of the comics, there's some FDR in there.
Yeah. He was once drawn to look like Richard Nixon. He, during No Man's Land, where, you know, Gotham is like cut off and it's like a post-apocalyptic.
Oh yeah, and they took some cues for Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. In fact, one of them is he becomes like the broker of like he smuggles contraband from outside, and he's like, oh, the Penguin always gets his bite. And so, for example, he brings in an apple from outside, he takes a bite of the apple and sells it, and that's referenced in Dark Knight Rises when Selina Kyle saves that apple that the kid stole and then takes a bite before giving it to the kid. I don't even remember that scene.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but that's a reference to the Penguin from
Even though
No Man's
Penguin
Land.
is not in those movies,
Yeah.
that's a nice touch.
And there's this he goes legit a few times. Once he goes legit by selling shitty T-shirts with like sweatshop labor.
Legit in big air quotes.
And it's sort of and Batman's like, okay, I'll let you slide, but you know, it's kind of the joke is kind of that he's still like everything he's doing is legal, but still like shitty.
Well, there's always the line that you know. That usually it's Catwoman who ends up being the person to tell Batman this, but like, you're going after the wrong criminals.
Yeah.
You should be going after.
Yeah, because you know Batman's a billionaire, and I like that sort of. And that was
and just because Batman debuted at a time when crime was just not as well understood, and superheroes were just guys who go out and punch criminals, and criminals wear black and white stripy shirts and carry bags with dollar signs on them and wear Zorro masks.
Yeah, so I like that this is sort of the era where like the sort of gray area is sort of really brought to the forefront.
Yeah, and you can tell some really good stories with that.
And there's also one really great line where he's like, this is also the sort of place where, you know, Penguin became an insult called to Oswalt Cobblepot instead of something named him. And there's this great line where he's like, the reason they call me a penguin is because I'm short. If I were like this big fat guy, they would call me the whale. If I were black, well, I don't even want to think about what they'd call me. And it's like a really great line because it's so true, you know what I mean?
There is a supervillain called the Whale, isn't there?
Or like Orca or something like that.
Because there's Great White Shark.
Or you know, Black Lightning fights Tobias Whale. Well, his name is legally Whale, and he's like this big albino black
That's
man.
who I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Which...
He's like a mob boss?
Yeah, and it's like his legal name. And, you know, he's like...
I mean, you know,
because
Whale can be a last name.
Yeah.
Look at James Whale.
He's like, oh, he's a great big white whale like Moby Dick.
Yeah.
But he's
also can we appreciate Black Lightning, like most black superheroes, has the word black in his name. Yes, so you know.
And has lightning powers.
Yeah. Black guys are more likely to get lightning powers for some reason. Static
I
Shock.
don't know why.
The guy Jamie Foxx played.
I don't know if it's like because, you know, I don't want to say any, you know, I'm not gonna come up with my theories on that. He does this. He has this great story where he's it's revealed that when he was younger, this is another one he goes legit. He paid his prom date. And then he has this cheesy line. He's like, "Was there any woman this way won? Was there any woman this way wooed?" From
Richard III.
Really?
That's Richard III.
Oh yeah.
But Richard III, like the Penguin, is a disfigured guy who. But actually, people are really nice to him. And he has a whole monologue at the beginning about how, like, I cannot prove a lover. 2 scenes later, was any woman in this humor wooed? Like, oh man, I'm so good with the ladies. Why, Richard?
But here's the thing, though. This goes back to what I said about he's just quoting Shakespeare pretentiously, because Richard III kills that woman's husband and then woos her.
And he kills her husband and his dad.
Yeah.
And then later he kills her.
Yeah. But Penguin pays a woman to be like, listen, it's literally the world's oldest profession.
Many women in that.
But he's just like quoting Shakespeare without knowing what it means.
Yeah.
So it's very much what we're saying. He's just trying to be
pretentious penguin.
Yeah. I think that's all the notes I had. Oh, and he enslaves Scarecrow at some point.
The 2 bird-related villains.
Yeah. And he also enslaves another character, just like he does to Victor. Not really enslaves, but like manipulates them.
Victor Zaz?
No. In the HBO show.
Victor.
Anyways, I'm gonna put him A. Like I said, even though it made it harder for him to write stories for in the comics, this is still where the Penguin we know and love sort of came from.
All right.
The sort of
it sounds like they had some good stories. Because sometimes when you make it harder to write stories, that's when the best stories emerge.
Yeah, he has good moments, I'd say, but it is very rare for like there to be actual like Penguin focused stories. Like he becomes more of a side character.
Once you introduce Penguin as the information broker, then Penguin stories become rare, and Penguin just appears a lot in other stories.
Yeah,
and that's not necessarily
a bad thing. It makes him interesting as a character. But
the Batman kind of does that.
But that's why so many Penguin stories are about him either gaining power, like HBO, or losing power and having to fight for his power back. Because once he currently has power, he's not. It's harder to.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, so
animated series.
This might be controversial. I don't like the Batman the Animated Series Penguin. I feel like
I think some of his, especially his introductory episode, are not very strong.
Because they introduce him in the one where like the kids
Birds of a Feather.
No. They introduce him with "I got Batman in my basement."
Isn't that episode called Birds of a Feather?
No.
It's the one where Batman is hiding in the kid's basement.
Oh,
I thought that episode was called Birds.
No. It's called "I got Batman in my basement." But it's like. So you set him up, and so he gets punked by a bunch of kids, and that's his introductory episode.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Because like
it's a weak episode, and it's too kid focused.
Yeah,
and that show is at its best when it's and kids who grew up with the show agree with me on this because I watched it a little bit, but we didn't have cable. Like sometimes we could watch it. Kids who grew up with the show will agree with me on this. That the episode was at its best when it was being the least kiddie, the least kid focused, which is what the studio wanted. They were like, you gotta put Robin in here. You gotta have more kid episodes. And I do like Paul Williams a lot. He's got a weird voice. He wrote a bunch of songs for the Muppets.
Oh, yeah.
He wrote Rainbow Connection.
Really, I didn't know that.
That's the guy who wrote Rainbow Connection. He's in like the 5th Planet of the Apes movie. He's in Baby Driver. He wrote the song at the end of Secret of Nim, and he sang it.
Dream by night, wish by day. Love begins this way.
Yeah.
He's a great musician and a pretty good actor. I like Paul Williams, but I agree with you that Batman the Animated Series Penguin is an unusual weak point in what is otherwise a great show.
Because usually when you do the kids defeat the supervillain, it's usually like, the supervillain was set up to be threatening. And then, when the kids defeat him, it's impressive for the kids. But if this is the introductory episode for the Penguin's not threatening. Also, usually the Penguin is underestimated.
That's true.
Because you see him and he's like, he's this dweeby little guy, and then he proves you otherwise. But then having his first episode be him getting punked by a bunch of kids, really defeats him.
Now, that said, there's an episode where he tries to go straight.
So I was going to say that too.
And I think that's a great episode.
So here's my problem with that. I don't like yes, I think Paul Williams is a good person. I don't think his voice fits because he has a very meek and soft-spoken sort of demeanor.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is, for example, in that episode you're saying, he's going on a date with a woman, and then it's treated as if he's this gross thing, and everyone's all the other people in the restaurants are staring at him. I don't even remember this. But he's just this quiet little guy, and it's sort of I feel like it doesn't matter because usually we'll get to the other anime ones. It's he has this very squawking, annoying, obnoxious voice, which contradicts with his sophisticated, sort of put together thing.
He's not as abrasive, certainly, but
and I find
I don't know. He's got a weird, strange enough voice.
Maybe. But I feel like just because of how disappointing I was when I watched the series Penguin episodes, because so much of the show is so good with the other characters.
The Batman in the Basement episode is pretty weak.
Yeah,
I think he was in a handful of very solid episodes though, and I like the one where he tries to go straight.
I feel like okay. So my problem with him is he comes off too sophisticated. I don't feel like there's a good contradiction there between the lowbrow and highbrow.
I think they're trying to go back to the Silver Age version where he is sophisticated. The contradiction is his appearance and voice. That he's just he is the grotesquerie of the aristocracy. He's not a pretentious working class man pretending to be upper class. He legitimately, this version probably does come from money. He's just ugly and maybe a little inbred and just crass.
Yeah.
Overall, he's not.
He's also not used a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
And once it's the new Batman Adventures, they make him look way less interesting.
They do. They really soften his. He looks like the guy on the cover of the New Yorker.
Yeah. I'm gonna put him in D. I'm sorry. I know.
C. Let's put him in C.
Okay, let's put him in C.
Because he did have some good episodes.
Yeah.
All right.
He was good in what is it? The Almost Got Him, I guess.
Yeah, that's a great episode.
Yeah. Danny DeVito.
Now, my problem with Danny DeVito's Penguin is I think they make him too grotesque. They also, he's horning in on the Joker's territory with his whole evil circus. And also, Tim Burton did not want to make a Batman movie. He wanted to do a remake of The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Yeah.
Because the extent to which his Penguin just is Dr. Caligari is distracting. Also, Christopher Walken's name is Max Schreck, which was the actor from Nosferatu.
Also, I don't like that he's just being used by Max Schreck the whole time. You know, like he's like, I don't like it when like the villains are like puppets of bigger villains. You know, I like it when they are themselves the main threat.
I think you can do that. It's just that the bigger villain needs to be an actual bigger villain. If the Penguin, like Batman Begins, I don't have a problem with the Scarecrow being a puppet of Ra's al Ghul, sorry. If he were the puppet of some other guy we don't know and have never heard of, that would have been a problem.
Yeah.
And you can certainly create a crooked businessman character and name him Max Schreck, but he should be subordinate to the Penguin, not the other way around.
I'm gonna put him in B. Because I know everything we said, but like he's so nostalgic to me. Like
Danny DeVito is great.
I think it's like, listen, I know he's not really like any other version of the Penguin, but there's a sort of charm in that, honestly.
Yeah.
And when I close my eyes, I do see him in my nightmares. I do like when he bites off that guy's nose.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool.
I like that his dad is fucking Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah. But
the whole opening sequence of like the baby and he like eats a cat and they like put him in the river, like that is some cool gothic horror shit.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. That is freaky.
Even though he's just completely like not at all like the adaptation, which I don't really like judging adaptations by how close they are to what they're adapting, because Heath Ledger's Joker completely different from the Joker. Anyone who tells you that he's like a good adaptation of the comic version is lying to you.
In some ways he is.
Is he though?
Not in it. There's so many versions of the Joker.
Yeah, but there's no
I believe there was a Golden Age Joker story where he removes his makeup to pass as a policeman.
Maybe.
And he does that. Heath Ledger's Joker does that.
Maybe,
in one scene. Like, I think that a loose adaptation is just fine. We shouldn't criticize a loose adaptation for not being the original, because you have to make changes when you're adapting something. And I think we should consider what those changes are, if they are good or bad changes, but it's not the original, so it sucks, is I think a very bad criticism.
And it's I like that it's I can look at it and be like, oh, this is Tim Burton's personality coming out.
Tim Burton like loves the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and so do I. So I can't get that mad.
And sometimes it's like compared to like a lot of like Marvel movies, for example, where it's like, oh, this is like a very like calculated by committee sort of thing. Sometimes I just like a weird adaptation where it's just like
you kind of very the director's personality coming through.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will take something that is, Batman Returns is a movie that is flawed. It is tonally very uneven, and it doesn't entirely work. But you get so much of the director's personality coming through, and I would rather have that than something that is boring and slick and
just
normal.
very corporate. Yeah.
Have you seen the new Toxic Avenger movie?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen the original Toxic Avenger movie.
I've seen both. I didn't love the original. Like, it's weird, and I respect it, but it didn't really work for me. Just saw the new one last night, and I really liked it. And the actual bones of the story are actually kind of formulaic and basic,
right?
But the texture of it goes about telling its story in a very weird and funny way, and I liked it. And also Elijah Wood is in that movie basically as the Penguin.
So we will see this eventually together.
Like, I'm down to watch it again.
Okay, cool. So this is like an Elseworld story from the 90s.
This is John Hurt in the movie Rob Roy.
So this is an Elseworld story where Selina Kyle and Batman are pirates. And
this is the 1700s, definitely.
Yeah, and then Oswald Cobblepot is working for the colonial British government to like hunt down the pirates.
Yeah,
and then so
he
captured Selina Kyle, and then Batman, who I forget his name. He's like he has he has a pirate name. It's not Batman. It's like the I don't know. It's some like bat themed pirate, like the Black Wing or something like that. Something like that. He like saves Selina Kyle and then puts the Penguin on like a. What do you call it when you throw them on a piece of wood and just leave them like stranded in the water? What do you call that?
I don't think there is a specific term.
There's some
for
pirate term, but anyways,
it's a sort of marooning someone.
Yeah, maybe.
But on a board
instead of an island. He gets marooned in Antarctica, and that's why he's the Penguin.
It's what they did to Pip in Moby Dick.
So I think it's cool that he's a pirate, or not a pirate. He's like, like a British officer, Navy man.
Yeah, it
but
works
it's sort
for
of
him.
like it sort of changes it a bit. Where now like Batman is the criminal and he represents the law,
but he's a bad law. I think it's an interesting reversal. You can do cool things with it, but you need to. You can't just. I mean, the problem I have with Elseworlds and AU fanfiction and all these other things is I feel like they are too focused on, and then this thing can be this thing. They don't do anything new with the premise. They just end up telling a very generic story of whatever the new genre is, just where all the characters now have the same names as canon characters. Yeah,
I'm gonna put it in C, because it's a cool idea, I guess. It's a very short story. There's not much to him. In the end, he's in Antarctica. I guess it's kind of funny, but I don't know. I feel like they could have done a bit more interesting than just like, because pirates are like gangsters. Like it's kind of counterintuitive to like what Batman stands for. Because listen, pirates were bad people.
That's not completely true.
Are you sure they killed and raped a lot of people? Let's be honest here.
It depends which pirates we're talking about. Though, like Bart Roberts was a good dude mostly. Blackbeard was a piece of shit.
Okay.
But like quite often pirates would seize slave ships, right? And because there was money on board. But also, what do you do once you've seized the ship with all of the enslaved people on board? And what Blackbeard would do at least once or twice in his career is just sail into port and sell them himself, which is fucking awful. What Bartholomew Roberts did, and what quite a few other guys did, is just say to the pirate, to all the people, like, you can join my crew if you want and be treated as normal, or I can just find a place and drop you off and you'll be free. And either way, that's a better deal than they were getting.
I feel like that might be the exception to the rule, though. I feel like most of the time it'd be like, you can join my crew, but if not, we'll throw you overboard, like...
I'm sure some of these guys did that, but like there were pirates who were, I think, legitimately decent people who wanted, because we got to remember just how incredibly evil the colonial powers were at the time.
Yeah,
all in on slavery, all in on wiping out indigenous peoples of these various islands. Like, I think sometimes piracy was the morally correct option, and also the Nassau Pirate Republic was a republic. People voted. It was way more democratic than anything you were going to get anywhere else, probably in the world. Well, certainly in the English-speaking world.
Okay. Anyways, next one is, so we got Penguin as a pirate. Now we got Penguin as Jack the Ripper. So I forget what the name of the comic was.
Is this the one where Batman is Sherlock Holmes?
No, this is one where Batman's a vampire. And then...
Oh, is that like the Nosferatu thing?
I don't remember. I'll put the name of the comic up here once I remember it in the editing.
Because they did like an Elseworlds that's like a German expressionism pastiche where like...
I think it's that one, actually.
Batman is Nosferatu and Joker is The Man Who Laughs, which is not a German film or a horror film or an expressionist film, but it does have Conrad Veidt. And... the fucking they also did like a Superman. It was called Metropolis, and it was like the movie Metropolis, but
no, I think that's different.
All right,
I don't think that's
the art style would probably look more expressionist than this.
But anyway, so this is one where Batman turns into a vampire and he starts killing all his villains, and it's like, oh, the internal conflict is, oh, it's making me kill, and that's bad. But then like Oswald Cobblepot's like literally Jack the Ripper. He's like a serial killer, and then the vampire Batman cuts off his head, and that's sort of the end of the character.
I don't know. Kind of simple and reductive.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like I get that you need to make someone your Jack the Ripper analog, but it doesn't sound very in character for the Penguin.
Yeah, because normally the Penguin is like reasonable. He has reason.
Yeah.
He's not like the Joker. He's not like a mass murderer.
He'll do bad things if it benefits him.
Yeah, or if
not
he's
just for the fun.
Well, actually, Jack the Ripper did kill out of like insecurity. That's why he killed a lot of sex workers.
We don't know what his motives were, but that would make sense.
Let's be fair. When a man kills a bunch of
we can guess.
Sex workers, it's usually some sort of like, oh, I need to feel big.
Maybe he just wanted to kill anybody, and he knew that sex workers were the most vulnerable people that he could kill with getting away with it. Maybe he would have killed more respectable people if he could have gotten away with it. We don't know. We'll never know. But very likely it was out of insecurity.
Yeah, but I feel like it's the same thing as the Pirate Penguin. It's just sort of like, okay, it's just like a brief new version of a penguin.
Yeah.
This is so. Did you read
That's the Doom that came to Gotham? Right?
Yeah, and he's just in there for like one.
I have read that.
The first few pages where he's just like driven insane and he's just naked
chilling with the albino penguins of the Mountains of Madness.
Do you have that here?
Not here. I do own a copy of it, but I think it's at my parents' house.
He has like one line where he just looks to the camera and says some line, and then I don't remember what it was. We'll put it up there.
Yeah.
But I think
he was cool, but they didn't do much with him. That was kind of my problem with that comic, is there were so many ideas, but they didn't have time to develop many of them that far.
Yeah. Maybe D? Would you be okay putting this in our first D tier?
Yeah, okay.
Because just it is a cool idea.
In that case, should we bump Jack the Ripper Penguin down to D as well?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he doesn't do much either. I think pirates are slightly cooler than DC.
I like his design. I think it does work to have him as this like Duke of Cumberland looking motherfucker who's we will bring order to the Caribbean.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, Tom Kenny Penguin, who has the same voice as the Ice King.
I am ready for Tom Kenny Penguin. I'm ready.
Yeah.
See, because he's SpongeBob. And that's what SpongeBob says.
So, Tom Kenny Penguin, my first penguin.
I like him. I think
I really like him. He's very much a throwback to Silver Age or Golden Age Penguin, where he's a lot more. He's not like a gangster. He's not like He's
just a nasty little guy.
Yeah, who's like who is poor, who wants to make himself look rich. And it's the first episode it's established that he throws like a whole bunch of money at like a waiter or something, and Alfred picks it up and it's just all ones because he's just like
great.
Yeah, that's like it really establishes he's like he's just some like guy trying to make himself look like highbrow and wealthy, which is kind of funny because it kind of goes backwards from this guy from Paul Williams, where he's like he's a proprietor of the Iceberg Lounge or something, because now he's going back to like he's like just like a random crook who's like trying to make himself look rich.
But he like decayed aristocracy?
Yeah, he came from the Cobblepots as like a wealthy family. He lost all of it. Not because, I think maybe because of the Waynes, I don't remember. But then he traveled, and he has this great line. He's like, I learned this from the Orient. And he's like very like acrobatic despite being fat.
Yeah.
And he has
characters on that show were all impossibly acrobatic,
and it's kind of great because it's sort of established to me. This is my establishment of the character of the Penguin as he's this short little fat guy, but people underestimate him, and he takes advantage of that, just like all these other characters.
Yeah, I also thought it was cool on that show that like this is the rare case where the Joker is physically a match for Batman because he's big.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him in A. A lot of it's from nostalgia, but like he's also a very cool, great voice. Yeah. I like his voice more than Paul Williams. I like that he's like this very annoying, abrasive voice.
I like Paul Williams' voice a lot in other things, but I agree that he is kind of a weird match for the Penguin.
Yeah.
He's great in Battle for the Planet of the Apes as just like this little know-it-all orangutan guy.
Yeah. And what else? I had. There's this. Before we move on from Tom Kenny, there's a few great Tom Kenny Batman stories. One where he creates Team Penguin. He like gets a bunch of other supervillains to work for him. That's another one of the Penguin's skills is
networking.
He gets people to do his dirty work.
It usually doesn't last very long.
Yeah, and then he betrays them.
Yeah, because he
goes back as far as
the plot
Age.
To the HBO show. He's. Because all of these are personalities that are just gonna clash, and that happens in the '67 movie.
66.
Is it 66?
Yeah, 66.
Okay.
Yeah.
They do fight. They get annoyed by each other. Mostly it's because the Riddler keeps sabotaging them.
Yeah. And there's another story where he gets a fucking Green Lantern ring. And he gets a Green Lantern ring. Normally in the comics, it's like, you need to have super strong willpower. But he's kind of a coward, so it's kind of like, it's a different universe, so it doesn't matter. But then Sinestro comes and underestimates the Penguin. And then Penguin manages to briefly get the better of Sinestro by dropping a billboard on him. And it's brief, and obviously the Penguin's defeated in the end. But it's this great moment where it's like, yes, everyone underestimates this short little dweeby guy.
And, Penguin versus Sinestro, I'm going to be rooting for the Penguin there.
Yes.
Like, they're both bad guys.
Yeah, but the Penguin's the underdog.
And he's less bad.
He is less bad. He's not like a intergalactic tyrant.
I don't really know Sinestro that well. I just know he is like a full supervillain.
He is pretty gray area in more recent comics.
Okay.
But
his name is literally Sinestro.
Yeah. Well, because he has his left hand, that's where he holds his ring.
I feel like we're gonna. I know that there are The Nathan Fillion Green Lantern from the Superman movie.
Yeah.
They're giving him like a spin-off TV series.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing Sinestro will be in that. And I'll finally, because I didn't watch the Ryan Reynolds movie nobody liked, so I will finally get to know who Sinestro is if they put him in the show, and they might
yes. Hopefully they do.
If they don't, it'll be some other villain, and that'll be fine too.
Okay, so that's Tom Kenny Batman. He also voiced Batman. He also voiced Penguin in Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's fun. Was it the same design?
No, it was a different design.
Okay.
But I'm not ranking that separately. He only has like a brief one. So this is Penguin from the comic book Lee Bermejo by Brian... the comic book Joker by Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo. He's kind of just like Joker's accountant. I don't really like him because he's just subservient to the Joker.
Yeah.
In a way that's not even interesting.
I don't feel like it is in character for the Joker to have an accountant.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'm hung up on Dark Knight, but when he's burning all the money, like, everything burns.
And the Joker keeps calling him Abner. I guess is a reference
to... Fuck is Abner?
I think there's a comic strip called Little Abner or something.
Yes.
It might be...
The Little Abner was about hillbillies.
Well, let me look this up. Whatever, I'll look
Penguin
it up.
Penguin is a toff. He's not a hillbilly.
Abner comic...
If you were calling him Lil Abner, if you were calling like...
Okay, so I think I understand. So Lil Abner is like this really buff dude. So I think the joke is he's calling him Lil Abner like ironically to make fun of the fact that he's like short and fat.
Okay. Normally I hear if you call a character Lil Abner, I assume you're making a joke about them being a hillbilly.
Anyway, so I'm going to put him here because he's just kind of... He does have a cool design though.
Yeah, it's all right.
But yeah, no, it's... I don't know. He's just kind of like subservient to the Joker.
He looks like Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Not actual Colin Farrell as the Penguin.
Colin Farrell looks like...
Not Colin Farrell normally.
Colin Farrell's Penguin looks like this version of Penguin.
Yeah, they might have taken some makeup cues.
This is, what's the name of the...
Colin Farrell is normally a staggeringly handsome man, of course.
I forget this voice actor, but I'm going to say his name and you're going to be like, whoa, I know that guy. Oh, Stephen Rue? Batman Brave and the Bold.
No, I didn't watch that show. I know people really like it. Stephen Root?
Yeah.
Oh, man, Red Stapler.
Yeah.
Little Gideon's dad. He's in a bunch of Coen Brothers things.
Let me just double check.
He's on Barry. Great actor. I love that guy.
Television. Let me just double check.
Stephen Root as Penguin is good casting.
Yeah, Stephen Root. Yeah. Stephen Root as Penguin. He's very much just sort of like Silver Age or 1966 Penguin. He has
because Brave and the Bold was deliberately designed as like a throwback to Gold and Silver Age stuff, right?
I'm gonna put him. He only has a couple stories. I'm gonna put him like here. He's better than the previous the first animated Penguin.
All right.
Because he's just like so close to Silver Age Bronze.
His design is very classic Penguin.
Yeah, but yeah, he's voiced by Stephen Root. I thought because I don't know who Stephen Root is. I know you've talked about him before.
You've seen him in things.
Yeah, I've definitely seen him.
Did you watch Gravity Falls?
Yes.
He's Gideon's dad.
Oh, that's
who runs
cool.
the dealership.
He was also in that monkey movie we saw, right?
Yes, he's in Monkey Shines. He's the guy who's doing the tests.
Yeah. Anyways,
terrific actor.
Next, okay, so this is Flashpoint Penguin. He's just kind of like a casino owner. I don't think he does anything.
It's not tremendously out of character for him.
Yeah.
I could see him running a casino.
I'm just gonna put him
and his casino wouldn't go out of business.
Yes. Let me just see. Did I write anything for him? I don't think he does. I think he's in like a total of like 5 panels in Flashpoint.
All right.
I'm really whatever. Okay, this is post Flashpoint New 52 Penguin. New 52 Penguin.
New 52 is like a Marvel Ultimate style, like complete rebrand.
Yeah, complete reboot, but it's canon.
Darker and edgier.
So it's not Marvel Ultimate where it's a separate universe from the main universe. This is a reboot of the main universe.
I see.
So this went from 2011 to Rebirth, which is 2016.
Is New 52 better received than Marvel Ultimates? I know people hate Ultimates.
So people that's not well. When Marvel Ultimates came out, it was like. It went really downhill, but people liked it at the beginning.
People didn't like what they did with Speedball. People didn't like what they did with Iron Man. People really didn't like what they did with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. Iron Man, no, I think they liked Iron Man because...
He's got like a brain taking over his whole body. Like,
oh, well,
that's stupid.
First of all, that was Orson Scott Card. Second of all, that was retcon.
Fuck that guy.
That was retcon to be a TV show in universe about Iron Man. Because people didn't like... Anyways, but you know, like, Robert Downey Jr. is really more... Personality-wise, is more like Ultimate Iron Man than like main.
Okay.
Anyways,
I believe Ultimates also gave us Miles Morales, so it's got that going for it.
But the thing about New 52 is, unlike Ultimates, which was a side universe, this took over the main universe, so people were way more mad at this. And this version of the Penguin constantly getting taken advantage of by other villains. Remember when I said that it got hard to write Penguin stories because he was status quo, and that you only had to write stories about him either coming to power or losing his power and having to regain it?
Yeah.
So all of his stories in here were losing his power and having to regain it, basically. So like he gets he gets made
tedious.
Yeah, he gets punked by the Joker. He gets punked by, there's this new character called Empire Penguin, who like he just named himself that, Emperor Penguin, sorry, who like he's like a henchman who Penguin underestimates, and then he takes over from Penguin, and then Penguin has to work with Batman to regain his empire from.
Do we consider Emperor Penguin to maybe be the real Penguin of the show, the comic, or
no? It's just like and then he changes his name to Emperor Blackgate or something like that.
Emperor Penguin is such a lame name for it's like if you wrote in a new character called like Even Funnier Joker.
I think that's the point, is he's trying to supplant Penguin, right?
Yeah,
so he names himself Emperor Penguin, like, I'm you but better. But then in the end, he gets replaced by the main Penguin. And then Falcone also takes over from the Penguin, and then Penguin like regains. So yeah, he's just constantly getting punked, and I guess it's supposed to be like, oh look, he loses his power and he gets it back, but it just makes him look really weak or whatever, so I'm gonna put him in D.
I like it that in The Batman, Falcone is played by the Jesus from Big Lebowski.
Yes.
But on the Penguin series, they couldn't get him back,
yes,
so they get Mark Strong, who I believe was Sinestro.
Yeah, which makes sense because he's a younger version of the character.
But they do everything they can makeup-wise to make it clear, like, this is the same character. We've given him the same beard. So I appreciate the effort. Mark Strong's a good actor. Oh yeah, he's also in the Shazam movie.
What was I gonna say?
Is this from one of the
Arkham
this
games?
Is
all the Arkham games. Yeah, I really like Penguin from the Arkham games. Listen,
I heard they made him a Cockney in those.
Yes,
which I don't like.
I love that because here's the thing: it's implied that he just put it on. He's not actually Cockney because he was born in America, went to school in the UK, and then came back with this Cockney accent.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, but I think everyone's kind of like, oh, he's definitely faking it, and it does sound very fake and exaggerated.
All right.
It's very in character for the Penguin to be like, I'm gonna make myself sound sophisticated by doing a British accent.
Cockney isn't sophisticated.
But that's the thing. He
didn't
wouldn't
even
know
realize?
any difference.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's so smart. I thought that was a really brilliant choice because it's so into character for the Penguin to be like, I'm gonna try to make myself sound more sophisticated in a way that doesn't really make sense to like an actual smart person, you know what I mean?
Or I'm Oswalt fucking Cobblepot,
I know, and also I listen. I love his boss fights because I played the Arkham games.
All right, I have not, and
yeah,
I'm only going off what I've read, and it sounded bad on the page, but maybe they execute it really well.
Because all his boss fights are like, in Arkham City especially, he just puts a bunch of bad guys in front of him. So you have to fight a bunch of bad guys, then you have to fight all these big tough guys, and then you fight Solomon Grundy. And when you finally get to Oswalt Cobblepot, you punch him once and he's out. I think that's so brilliant. Cool. And it's so in character too. Like they really understand the Penguin.
Most versions of the Penguin, Tom Kenny accepted, are not a physical threat.
Yes. But they do, like with Tom Kenny, they network. They get other villains to do their dirty work for them. And I think that's...
I do like Solomon Grundy. I'd love to see him in one of the movies or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't he originally a Flash villain?
He was originally a Green Lantern villain.
That's it.
But Alan Scott Green Lantern, so original Green Lantern.
And he's also mentioned in the Crash Test Dummies Superman song.
Yeah. I actually prefer Solomon Grundy as a Green Lantern because it's a villain, because it's a good contrast between, like, light and death, light and dark.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think he works okay as a Batman villain because Batman has a very gothic edge to it.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking because Green Lantern originally had like, it's green fire. Also, there had some sort of like vague environmentalist themes because Green Lantern.
Yeah, okay.
Versus Solomon Grundy, who is death. Like he's this rotting death.
And so not even like natural death.
Yeah.
Of like returning to Earth, but like this undeath is the antithesis of nature, right?
Okay, so this version is from a story called Penguin, Pain, and Prejudice. Originally, I thought...
Is this a Jane Austen pastiche?
No, it's just the dumb line.
Oh, that would be a great Elseworlds.
So originally, I thought Penguin, Pain, and Prejudice was just a New 52 origins for the Penguin. But then the thing is, they have different names for their moms. So I'm like, okay, so either editorial didn't catch this, or it's in a different universe. I'm just going to a different universe. Yeah. Anyways, so this is like Penguin's origin, where it's like, He's made fun of because he has a deformity. In this case, it's his long nose. In Batman Returns, it's his flipper hands.
And his long nose.
Yeah, but they don't comment on his long nose.
No,
Here,
it's there. Like, he's almost always had a very freakishly long nose.
But in Batman Returns, he's explicitly saying, oh, my deformity is my flipper hands. Whereas here, it's like, my deformity is my long nose. And this one is the one where it's like, he's so... And this was also in Post-Crisis Penguin, where it's like, if you look at him funny, if you're like a random waiter or something and you look at him funny, what he does is he takes you in the back room and he's like, I have destroyed your life. Your wife is now dead. Your kids, your wife is now in a car accident because someone cut her brace lines. Your girl, your daughter, a homeless person happened to like inject her with AIDS on the. So this is an actual thing that happens.
Wow.
Just like
to someone who just looks at him weird.
Yeah, to someone because he's super insecure.
Yeah. So this is the most like volatile hair trigger version of the Penguin.
Yes, and it's there in the other versions. This is just like I'm gonna systematically use my power and pull my strings to absolutely destroy your life bit by bit until you're absolutely nothing. And then in this story, he meets a blind woman who like falls in love with him.
All right, so classic like Mr. Magoo and the Monster kind of thing.
But then as soon as the blind woman, he doesn't let her touch his face. As soon as she touches his face, he shoots her. And then before she dies, she's like, I thought you were beautiful. And then she dies.
Oh,
and it's like,
shit.
Yeah. So it's about how, he's sympathetic, but he's also evil. And he's like, Also, I think he killed his mom in this story.
He just sort of assumes everyone's going to hate him eventually.
Yeah, and then you see he gets bullied as a kid, and then he kills all the bullies. It's just, it's sort of like a study of like his insecurity.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool.
It's horrifying.
Horrifying, a bit edgelordy. I'm gonna put him high B. I want to say. I think, because it's less. I think maybe I liked it more when I read it in high school, but as an adult, I'm kind of like, this is cool. It's just a bit too edgy for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Less fun.
You lose your tolerance for that as you
as I get old, because it's just like, it's just like, wow, look how scary he is.
Yeah.
Like these people are fun, they're still entertaining. Like they're like yeah, like they're yeah.
I adore the Burgess Meredith Penguin.
Yeah.
I still want him in S tier.
Well, okay, fine. Yeah, let's put it in S.
Yeah.
So this is Batman Earth 1, written by Jeff Johns. So this version of Penguin is the mayor of Gotham. This is one of the most...
Finally became mayor.
Yeah. This is the most evil version of the Penguin, I think. It's also...
More evil than the last guy?
Yeah, because he's...
Less of a psychopath, maybe.
No.
Okay.
He kidnaps people's children, feeds them to a serial killer. Like, there's an actual serial killer that he keeps as mayor in the basement of Arkham Asylum.
Is it an established character?
No, it's a new character called
like
Birthday Boy. It's an original
Zaz
character.
Or somebody? Okay.
But it's like, so what he does is, he's the mayor, and it's like, for example, if you're like a union leader or something, he's like, and you don't do what he wants, he kidnaps your daughters and feeds them to the serial killer.
All right, that's
so
pretty
there's
bad.
just a bunch of like dead children in.
Again, this feels a little too edgy for me.
Yeah, it does feel like very like 5 edgy, like
3 edgy,
5 me. And then what was I gonna say?
I like his design.
He is tall. He's tall and thin, so he's
a
not
much more toned down penguin.
He's much more like believable that he would be elected mayor.
And let's consider that the most normal looking penguin, or one of the more normal looking penguins, is the least sympathetic and the most monstrous inwardly, because often the Penguin is one of the less evil Batman villains.
Yeah.
But he looks the freakier, as we discussed.
I do kind of like him as a villain, though, because he does have a very satisfying death, where Alfred just shoots him in the fucking chest. And
you shouldn't kill Batman villains. You should send them to jail.
Well, this is Earth 1, so it's like alternate universe. Also, it's come out in like graphic novels, not an ongoing series, so you could kill them because they don't have to come back.
Yeah, but even then, like, Batman has his whole I don't kill thing.
Yeah, which is why Alfred does it.
Yeah, but like, if I were Batman, I would not accept that. I'd get mad at Alfred for that. Like, you broke my rule.
If I were Batman, I would be like, no, this mayor is fucking... Listen, as the older I get, the more I realize that, oh no, some people...
yeah, but...
the fucking are so entrenched in power that, like,
yeah.
You know, it's... I don't want to get this fucking...
But... Either way, it is in Batman's character. It is a fundamental part of the character, and I know this hasn't always been the case, but it is now.
He lets Alfred use a gun, though.
I don't think he should let Alfred use a gun.
Well, because why? Alfred can't do karate. Like, Alfred needs to be able to do...
Well, maybe in self-defense, but I guess my problem with...
Alfred comes and because this is when Penguin was stabbing... Because here, Earth 1 Batman does not have years of training. And this is what I love about the Earth 1 Batman. He's just a guy in a suit. And I think that's who has cool. Very basic combat training. So this is when Penguin is stabbing... has the upper hand on Batman, and then Alfred comes and shoots.
I guess just my problem with it is it's a fundamental part of Batman's personality that he doesn't kill, and I don't like how often writers find ways to justify, but in this case he has to, or he doesn't save this guy, or this guy dies anyway, someone else kills him, and I wish that they would see Batman's refusal to kill as not a challenge to write around, and just something to accept. And the Batman does this quite well, I think. I like it that movie ends with the Riddler going to jail, not so that we can use him for a future project or something, but just because that's more Batman. I hate it when the hero makes a big show of I won't kill the villain because if I do I'll be just like him, and then the writers find a way to kill the villain anyway.
I guess that's fair.
It feels like having your cake and eating it too.
Anyway, this guy is a really bad guy,
he's
though.
Clearly a really bad guy.
It is very satisfying, though. Bottom of B.
All right.
Same problem where it's just 3 edgy, 5 me a bit, but it sort of works, and then because for the point of the story, this is
what show is this?
This is the College Humor sketch where Batman doesn't know what death is. And like you were saying, where Batman doesn't kill. This is Patton Oswalt playing the Penguin. It's not.
Oh, it is.
It's not official Batman. This is College Humor sketch.
I've heard about this sketch. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, where Batman is I won't kill, and then he kills a henchman, and Penguin's you just killed that guy.
Oh, I think I have seen it.
And then Batman's just what? He's just sleeping, and it's
that's
Penguin's
good.
Do you not know what death is? And it's this great fucking line, and I love it.
Oh my god, do you not know what death is?
All right.
Anyways, this is an A tier.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's one of my
good.
favorite sketches. And Patton Oswalt's delivery of lines is so funny.
Patton Oswalt.
And he's he's like, Batman, did you ever have a pet as a kid? And he's like, yeah, I had a goldfish. And he's like, yeah, so what happened to my henchman is the same thing that what you did to your goldfish. He's like, I overfed these henchmen. Anyways, okay.
That's good.
Oh, from the
I know people
TV
like
show
this
Gotham.
Guy. I haven't seen it, but I know he's well liked, and I hope it isn't just because he is the first fuckable penguin.
He's not the first fuckable penguin. Danny Devito can get it, but also.
Oh, okay, bold.
Anyways, I forget. Oh God, what's this?
Robin Taylor.
Yeah,
Lord?
Robin Taylor Lord. I really like him as the
I thought
Penguin.
he was Penguin. Now he's Robin.
Okay. Anyways.
Hey, here till Thursday.
He's a very good portrayal of Penguin. I know he doesn't look the same as normal Penguin does.
He's got a weedy little rat face.
He is young, and then at the end he does gain weight in the final episode. He captures the things that are essential, I think, to Penguin. He's very underestimated. People always underestimate him. He manages to talk his way out of things. He manipulates people into doing what he wants. And he also has this. He has one of my best Penguin runs for mayor stories ever. So what happens?
So many of those.
But this is my favorite one. He runs for mayor, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna bribe all the fucking voting people, the people who count the votes.
Mm-hmm.
But he has a very strong friendship with the Riddler.
Okay.
The Riddler goes ahead and takes back the bribes and says never mind, you just do a normal job. The Penguin finds out about this, yells at the Riddler I can't believe you do this, I'm gonna kill you. And then Riddler's calm down, wait. And then he wins.
Wait, his name's Wade?
Wait.
Okay.
And then the Penguin wins the election anyways, just fair and square, because the people of Gotham just decided, yes, we like you, we're just gonna vote for you. And then first of all, two things. First of all, very prescient.
Mm-hmm.
And
people would willingly just say no, let's have a criminal.
Yes.
Maybe he'll commit crimes for us.
Yes.
Hooray. And that's what we want.
But second of all, and because of this, the Penguin realizes, I am in romantic homosexual love with the Riddler.
Interesting.
And then they have this whole and then they're in
also people love the Penguin. He's popular. He's beloved.
Yeah.
By the people.
Yeah.
Weird.
But also it's like, but no, it starts this whole like thing where he is explicitly in love with the Riddler. He gets really jealous. He kills the Riddler's girlfriend. Riddler gets mad at him. They're sort of like an on again, off again couple where they alternate between loving each other and hating each other. It's great. Anyways, high A tier.
That's some toxic shit, but it sounds fun.
It's as a TV show, it's the most fucking soap opera shit ever.
Yeah.
They end up like together again. Like at the end of the show, they're together.
In Arkham?
No. They're just like because at the end it's like, oh, now Batman's fully Batman, and they're fully the Rogues Gallery, but they're together. It's great. I love it. I love his relationship with the Riddler. It's so fucking funny and entertaining, and he is very much like the Penguin. Did I have anything specific I wanted to say?
It's a bold take on the Penguin, making him a young
rat-faced
boyfriend, Chalamet-looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
But all right.
I like that they weren't afraid to go like explicitly gay.
Yeah, I respect that.
They
don't do it in like a homophobic way. Of like, look how evil he is.
No,
he's gay.
not at all.
Okay, good.
He becomes the mayor, right? And his slogan was "Make Gotham Safe Again."
When did this air?
Before Trump was elected, but it was in 2016.
Yeah.
He gives out crime licenses to regulate crime. So you can only commit crime if you have a crime license.
Wow, like in Discworld.
Which does bring the crime rate down and does save lives.
Yeah.
Because if you commit a crime without a license, he does go after you.
That's
and
a
kill
crime.
you.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it was funny. They had this whole season where it's actually alternating. They go, this does actually make Gotham safer because only some crime is allowed. And if you commit a crime and you're not supposed to, he actually murders you. And I think that's funny. Oh, and Paul Rubin plays his dad again.
Oh, that's nice. I miss that guy. R.I.P. Paul Rubin.
Okay. Oh, I think this is like the worst Penguin. This is the Penguin from the shitty...
what show is this?
It's like an animated one that's just there to sell toys.
I mean, you could make that accusation about most cartoons.
Batman Animal Instincts? It's like a direct-to-video fucking shitty-ass anime movie. So this version of Penguin, he wants to build... I forget his thing, but he wants to build a laser to destroy Gotham?
That doesn't sound very Penguin
I know,
to me.
it doesn't sound...
That's where he keeps all his stuff.
Yeah.
Penguin isn't a guy who just causes chaos for chaos. He doesn't want to watch the world burn. He wants to get rich and also get revenge on everyone who was mean to him.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think he is motivated because people were mean to him.
Yeah, but he's not a...
He wants to...
I don't know, it feels wrong.
Yeah, he was trying to make an asteroid hit Gotham so that he can get to... A, because he hates Gotham because people make fun of him for his looks. And B, because there's gold in the asteroid and wants to get the gold.
Now, that is the plot to Don't Look Up, a movie that is quite bad, but...
It also doesn't really make sense, because if the world was fucking destroyed by an asteroid, because that would destroy the world, your gold is meaningless.
Yeah.
You can't eat or burn it. Like, you know what I mean? And also...
You can burn yourself, though, when you have been incinerated.
And also, it's like, he doesn't look...
He's too jowly.
Listen, you can't see it in this picture. He is fucking buff.
Oh, yeah.
So, and people still make fun of him for his looks, but I'm just like, he looks like fucking Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I don't understand why.
He's uglier, but yeah.
Yeah, anyways, I'm putting him in like low D. He doesn't feel like the Penguin.
Saving F for someone, I can tell.
Not really. Maybe I'll just put an F.
You just said you think he's the worst Penguin, so...
He's definitely the most, like... He's barely Penguin-esque just because of, he hates people who made fun of him, and that's part of his motivation. But, like, I'm fine with putting him F.
This next guy is hideous.
This is Rebirth Batman, Rebirth Penguin. So remember how I said New 52 from 2011 to 2016? Mm-hmm. And then he did a Rebirth, another sort of reboot thing? This is of the main comic versions of the Penguin, this is the funniest. I'm just going to list stuff that this version of the Penguin did.
All right.
This was also 2016, right? So he did become like a Trump analog. And he was like, I'm going to make Gotham safe again. But what he said is, I'm going to build a wall around Gotham. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Isn't that the plot to No Man's Land?
Maybe, yeah, exactly. But also, like, because, Trump wanted to build a wall to keep, like, immigrants out. How would building a wall around Gotham stop the crime within Gotham? Gotham's issue isn't, like, external things.
That's the plot to Escape from New York. We wall off Manhattan and just convert the entire city into a prison.
Yeah, so that's what I think. It's like they made him a Trump analog in a way that makes zero sense.
Yeah, well, Trump doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know that too.
Was that the joke, that this doesn't make sense and will not solve anything?
No, I think they were just, because this was like, they wrote this very quickly, so they're like, we need people to understand we're commenting on Trump, so let's just have him say Trump lines without any thought into it. He has a son named Ethan, who is a tech bro. Like a full-on, like,
Someone had sex with the Penguin?
I know! Well,
Is Ethan also hideous?
No, he's just like a tech
ordinary
bro.
Guy.
Once again, he was on Joker's side. So Joker had a war with the Riddler.
Because this Penguin, that's a scary stories to tell in the dark looking motherfucker.
Well, it depends on the artist.
Okay, in that image, he looks like that horrible clown with a pipe.
It's revealed that Penguin has a hidden room in his Iceberg Lounge where supervillains hang out whenever things go crazy in Gotham.
He has that. The Colin Farrell Penguin had that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not explicit that, like, it's like for supervillains to, like, hang out and drink beer while, like, there's, like, a huge
It wasn't
crisis.
Specifically for supervillains, but he did have a secret,
what
was it called, like, 40 Below or something?
Yeah, something like that. And, right, I almost forgot this. He had sex with a penguin.
An actual,
yes. There's this line, listen, where it's like, Bane, he's like, Bane killed my wife, and I'm gonna get revenge on Bane and then commit suicide on my wife's grave. And then halfway through the issue, he's like, oh, my wife Penny, and her beautiful black feathers, and her beautiful beak, and he realized, oh my god, this penguin fucked a literal penguin.
I don't like that. That's stupid. Also, how did they have a kid then?
No, that's not with that. It's with a human.
She's not the mother of.
It's not the mother.
Son? Okay. Well. All right.
I don't know, like here, I guess. Because, like, he made me laugh a lot.
All right.
He was really funny.
This next guy does not look like the Penguin. He's just some guy.
This is from the Telltale Batman stories.
Oh, yeah. He does have that art style.
He's, like, a revolutionary where he's, like, fighting against the wealthy.
Didn't I just say the Penguin wasn't a communist? He was a capitalist?
Yeah, this is
the
communist.
Did they make him a false revolutionary? He's, like, a hypocrite?
Not really. He's just, like, a full-on... He wears like a penguin, emperor penguin mask, or like a plague mask, like with a beak.
Yeah,
and he so unlike previous penguins, which would be like have a debate with Batman for mayor of Gotham or whatever, there's a mayoral debate for Gotham between Hamilton Hill, I think, and Harvey Dent. And then this version of the Penguin interrupts it to protest and holds them hostage and says, "Oh, you're all corrupt and blah blah blah."
That's not something Penguin should. That's what Bane ought to be doing.
Yeah.
I
also, he's too handsome. I don't
understand the characters. Yeah, he looks just like a random Dragon Age NPC.
Yeah, I think he's a compelling villain though. He just doesn't feel like the Penguin. And once again, I don't like judging adaptations by like, they changed him too much. But I feel like
there are bad changes to make.
Yeah,
and there are good changes.
Also, I think like even if you wanted to make him like a revolution, you could have still made him short and fat.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put him like here, I guess. Yeah, I think that works. Just see.
Sounds like he belongs below Paul Williams.
Okay.
Certainly below Stephen Root.
Yeah. Well, Stephen Root, like that voice actor's cool, but like the character's kind of like.
Who did the voice of Telltale Penguin?
I don't remember.
Some guy.
I think he's also British. Telltale Penguin.
Because I feel like with the Penguin, you can make him working class, you can make him decayed aristocracy, but class is a fundamental part of the Penguin. He can't be middle class.
He's not someone. Well, I think he was like lower class or something, but like he can't be someone who's trying to fight a class war. He's someone who wants to use the class divide to his advantage, who wants to be in the upper classes.
Yes, he will fight his way up there if he's not already there. If he was born into money that is gone, he will. He
wants it back.
He wants it back.
Envy's a big part of his character.
Yes, and if he's grew up poor, he wants that money for himself. And if he lifts up a few other people along the way, okay, fine, but that is not the priority.
Yeah, also, this is what he looks... We'll put a picture. This is the voice actor. So he does kind of look like...
What's his name?
Jason Spisak.
Don't know.
Yeah. So I guess maybe they made him look like that. Lego Penguin.
Now, I want to appreciate that one of Penguin's visual defining traits has always been his nose. And this Penguin, because he's made of Lego, doesn't have a nose. And yet he is still instantly recognizable as like, that's the Penguin.
I don't like him though.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I know there's multiple Lego Penguins. The only one I saw was from the Lego Batman movie where he had like no lines.
Barely in it.
He was treated as another random Batman villain. You know, like when Joker goes on this long list.
The whole mob.
Yeah, Penguin is just in there.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
and
basically
I
an
didn't like
extra
that. So
villain.
I know that he might have a bigger role in the video games. I didn't play them. Whatever.
Do you consider that worse? Because it's certainly very little. I agree that he shouldn't be ranked too highly. Do you consider that worse than Jowly Penguin there?
Honestly, kind of, because he doesn't have any lines. There's nothing interesting. Because at least this one, you can watch him and be like, oh, he's kind of like entertaining to watch and listen to. This one doesn't say anything. At least, in the Lego Batman movie.
Did he not have a single line?
No. He didn't even go wow, wow, wow or whatever. I don't think so.
Because I remember, like,
maybe he did.
Egghead had a line, and it was a guy doing a decent Vincent Price impression.
And also, I never grew...
And they brought Billy D. Williams back.
Yes, that was the best. I did not grow up liking Lego, and I don't like how they all look the same. Like, I know that's part of the charm of Lego or whatever. I like it when they all look different. That's kind of why I preferred Teen Titans cartoon to the Justice League cartoon. Because the Justice League cartoon, I felt like they all kind of had the same body shape, but Teen Titans, they all look different. And that's why I gravitated towards Teen Titans.
Yeah, and with some of the Batman villains, especially the Penguin, having a weird body shape is kind of key. Yeah, that's fair.
And speaking of someone who barely had any lines, this is from Batman White Knight. It's when the Joker became a good guy, I think.
I like Penguin's design in this thumbnail.
Yeah, he was very intentionally modeled after Paul Williams, but he also doesn't do any. I'm gonna put him like here. It's the same thing with them where he's just in like a total of like 3 panels max, and then he doesn't do anything.
All right.
And he has like one line. That's
for a lot of these Penguins. It's not that they're bad necessarily. It's just that they don't get enough to do because it's not a story about them. So it's not a problem with the story. It's just that they didn't give us a great penguin.
There aren't a lot of really bad penguins. Yeah. Other than like this one. And also, I just don't like Lego. I'm sorry.
Okay, bold. I like Lego fine. I did not have the discipline for it as a kid, but for Gabby's and my anniversary this year, we bought a Lego set and put that together.
Thank you so much for saying Gabby's and my, because I've heard people would say like, oh, Gabby and I's anniversary or something.
Well, that's just bad grammar.
I've heard people say that. Not about Gabby, obviously. But anyways. Okay, so this is the one from the Harley Quinn show, voiced by Wayne Knight.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, which works for the Penguin.
I haven't seen him in anything since like Hail Caesar, and even then it was like, oh my God, is that Wayne Knight? I haven't seen him in anything since Space Jam.
They play up the fact that he's Jewish in Harley Quinn, which makes me a little bit uncomfortable.
I know that there were people who thought that show was kind of anti-Semitic.
Yeah. Because, Penguin also always, like, hovered sort of dangerously towards, like, Jewish characters. And also, Danny DeVito being, like, having, like, a Moses background and whatever.
Oh, yeah, that was there.
But, I don't know, I like...
But normally, I read Penguin with Oswalt Cobblepot.
Yeah.
He's a wasp.
Yeah. Or Cockney, or whatever, yeah.
Well, Cockneys are wasps.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
They're not always rich.
So, like, in here, like, he has, like, oh, you come to my nephew's bat mitzvah or something. I'm like,
bar mitzvah, surely.
Whatever, yeah, bar mitzvah. It's like, oh, I don't know if you want to go to this route. And he dies. Harley Quinn bites off his nose and kills him very quickly. So he's in the total of, like, 2 episodes. And then because Harley Quinn kills him. I don't know, like here, I'd say. Yeah. He's a fine performance. The performance is fine.
I like Wayne Knight.
Yeah. It's just he's barely in it. I'm assuming they couldn't afford Wayne Knight for too much because of all the.
He doesn't have that much else going on.
I'm joking, but like
Newman.
Yeah. Anyways,
obligatory.
Yeah, he's barely in it. Kind of uncomfortable, but he gives a good performance, I guess. Oh,
this looks Teen Titans-y.
Yes, this is
style.
This is from DC Superhero Girls. So this one is what if the Penguin was in a high school. He is actually very clever.
See, I was just saying I don't like high school AU fanfic.
Well, this one's good.
Okay.
Because his whole thing is he runs like the high school black market of like, test answer sheets and shit like that.
Okay.
He blackmails people. He's actually very smart.
Like, what's that movie where Clint Howard is running the...
Something like that. But it's a very good cartoon. If you like watching cartoons, if you have kids, DC Superhero Girls is a very good show. It's made by the same person who made My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. So it's like, it looks
Lauren
very
Faust?
Lauren Faust, yeah. And also, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Yeah, so he has this like intricate plot of like taking over the underground black market of the high school. And he has an election story where he runs for class president against Jessica Cruz. And then they're very smart because Jessica Cruz reveals everything bad during a debate that the Penguin had done. But then everyone's cheering. But we never find out how the election ends up. Because this was post-Trump. So I think they were like, we can't in good conscience make an episode for kids where, the bad guy loses an election because all their crimes were brought to
We know very well that may not matter.
Yeah. So it ends on an ambiguous thing. And I saw that episode, I was like, wow, they actually like put a lot of thought into not giving kids like too high
fallacy.
Just world fallacy.
All right.
Also, instead of a top hat, he wears a fedora.
Yeah.
I'm actually putting him in I'm putting him in low A. I'm sorry. Right. I really like. So the next 3 ones are all very fast. So this is these are 3. Okay, so the DC universe works. There's 52 Earths and a negative 52 Earths. So they're all like dark versions of the DC Earth or whatever.
That is altogether too many Earths.
Yeah. So this one is so these were all like in the same like single story. This is like the Penguin if he were a cannibal. That's
Danny DeVito. That's just Danny DeVito again. But with neon colors.
Yeah, this is the Penguin if he ate his parents or something. I forget why. He's like this
big if.
Yeah, he's like this big Hulk thing. I forget what his deal was. Something to do with his parents. This is the Penguin if he became wild and lived with sea lions, which is weird because he's the Penguin.
The sea lion instead of the Penguin.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're all very short. I mean, they have cool designs. I think this one's like the weakest design, so I'm gonna put him in like here, I guess.
I hope my slurping does not show up on the recording. I'm drinking some decaf.
This one, just because he's surrounded with sea lions, I'm actually gonna put him a tier above.
It's a good change of pace.
Yeah.
It's like, what if Batman instead of bats was about bees? I don't know.
And I like that he has his little parka and he's covered in blood. This is cool.
Cute.
Yeah, okay. But anyways, that's it. This is from Batman the audio adventures. So he is voiced by Bobby Moynihan? Moynihan, yeah.
Bobby Moynihan. Louis the Duck?
I guess. Oh, yeah.
I know people know Bobby Moynihan for other things. I only know him for the DuckTales reboot where he is Louis.
I only know him for the Penguin. Okay. So Batman the Audio Adventures was a very good show. It had 2 seasons and it was canceled. It ended on this huge cliffhanger. If you're gonna listen to this audio adventure show, only listen to the first season because the second season is like purely set up to a third season that never happens. So just like ignore the second season. The first season ends sort of nicely, so just only listen to the first season unless they make a third one, which they probably won't. Anyways,
I'm trying to imagine Bobby Moynihan as the Penguin. It seems
he does a very like Burgess Meredith sort of like esque.
Good.
I don't think it sounds like what you would think Bobby Moynihan sounds.
No.
But I really like this one because he's very scary. He's like he there's this scene where he has a subordinate who like, because it's an audio show, it's a radio show.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's in a voice, like a subordinate like wrongs him accidentally, and he goes on his long monologue like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this and I know your parents and your mom, and he's
tell your mom.
Yeah, but he's more charming about it than I am being right now. He's not as and he's like, you don't want that to happen, do you? Stuff like that sort of.
I feel like Penguin is more a guy to subtly threaten you.
Yeah.
In classic like, great house you've got here, be a shame, rather than just I'm going to set your house on fire. He's not that direct a guy.
But the exact thing is he hates his hair temper is triggered when someone calls him the Penguin. But what I like about him is he's despite him being this over the top like mobster character that has this funny voice, he's also very sort of realistic because the crimes he commits are like, well, obviously some of them are very like, I killed this woman and I made her body into chili and I fed it to like a bunch of unsuspecting carnival goers.
That's fucking dark.
But also it's like there's this museum that like wants to get a mammoth skeleton that was discovered. I outbid them for it so I can have it in my iceberg lounge instead of the.
It's not a crime.
It's not a crime. It's just him being shitty and throwing his power around, and I really like that.
All right.
Anyways,
I mean, if I could have a mammoth skeleton in the middle of my restaurant, I'd do it.
Yeah.
Like,
I would give it to the museum. I feel
I
like,
would. I'd buy it. I'd make casts. I'd give
yeah.
the originals to the museum and keep the casts for myself. And there'd be a little plaque on. I'd make.
Yeah.
There'd be a plaque in the museum saying like, generously donated by Oswalt Cobblepot.
But the thing is, the Penguin, like, he does that specifically out of pettiness. Like, it's not like, oh, I want the mammoth. He's like, I want the mammoth to screw over the museum.
I want them not to have the mammoth.
Yeah.
He is a petty bench.
So listen, if you haven't listened to Audio Adventures, make sure to listen to it. Just listen to the first season.
That sounds fun.
But I'm gonna put him here.
All right, that's good company.
This is just another universe where they experiment on him and turns into this big blob Hulk monster. I don't know. He doesn't.
That's kind of the opposite of who the Penguin's supposed to be.
Yeah,
like I know it's a different universe. It's a what if, but like.
Yeah, I don't know. He's in that. He's just like a henchman. It's not anything interesting.
Here's another Penguin that looks too normal.
Yeah. So this is from Dark Knights of Steel. It's like a medieval AU. It's from actual DC, but it's like, it's like an alternate universe where it's all medieval times. So this one, the Batman Rogues Gallery are all just kids with deformities. So the Penguin is just a kid with like flipper hands. And I don't think he's even anything very evil. It's just like and Toufexis is just, a kid with like a deformed half face. They're all kind of, just sort of like deformed children.
And Batman beats them up?
And Batman beats the shit out of them.
Because people did that in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
It was a rough time to be disabled.
But I think that was the point, is like, oh, they're all like mistreated by society. I don't think he does anything. I don't think he does anything bad.
If I were writing a medieval Batman story, I'd make Penguin a monk.
Yeah.
Or maybe an abbot.
Yeah.
And he'd be crooked as fuck. He'd be doing some bad stuff. But I feel like a monk or possibly a bishop, but I feel like a monastery is the right vibe for him.
But I don't know. They make him too. I'm gonna put him above the serial killer one, ironically enough, despite him being, because it's just like, I like the idea, I guess, but it's just like there's not much to him, and I kind of wish he was more evil.
Yeah.
Okay, Colin Farrell. I'm putting him in whack, whack, whack.
I'm down with that. He's very well fleshed out in a way that makes sense.
Yes.
Just when you get to think like, oh, okay, he's not so bad. He does something shockingly evil, or we learn about something shockingly evil he's already done.
I like that, just as, people underestimate the Penguin. People underestimate him to their downfall. I like that he has, just like the joke in The Dark Knight, he has one of the best interrogation scenes ever in Batman 2022, where they're just like interrogating him, and he's like,
I love that scene.
El Rata,
Alada.
And he corrects them on the Spanish, because he's smart. He knows he speaks Spanish.
And they're showing him, we've talked about this before, but they're showing him pictures of the dude who got his head blown off. It's Peter Sarsgaard.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't show me that.
And he has a TikTok account. And I just want to point out,
as we discussed over on my channel, he has a TikTok on his phone. Do you think the Penguin is a K-pop stan? Do you think he has strong opinions about K-pop? Do you think he's there like, I miss BTS as much as anybody, but honestly, Stray Kids are filling the void just fine.
I just want to point out, the first episode of the Penguin HBO show, the Penguin, and this is spoilers, he breaks into a club, steals diamonds, kills a mob boss, and over the course of the season, he takes over the mob. Golden Age Penguin, first issue, steals some diamonds, kills a mob boss, and takes over. Obviously, it's much more like silly in the Golden Age.
Sure.
But I love the nod that the first thing the Penguin does in the TV show is he has an umbrella, for his rain. He walks with an umbrella into the Iceberg Lounge and steals some diamonds specifically, because that's what the Golden Age Penguin did in his experience, and I love that. Like I said in previous, like Penguin Pain and Prejudice, where the Penguin killing someone due to his own insecurity is portrayed as look how scary he is. In HBO, he does kill someone in like an impulsive decision when he's made fun of, but that is portrayed as like a flaw, because that starts the whole problem that he has to solve for the rest of the show, and I like that.
So let us acknowledge that for most of the season, he lives above a jewelry store called Meredith.
Yeah, Meredith.
And at one point in the first episode, I noticed he passes Danny's roofing.
Yeah, Danny Devito.
All right, that's fun. And without getting into spoiling too much, in the final scene of the season, he is wearing what is basically the Burgess Meredith costume. He's come up in the world, and he's got his top hat and tails. And also, I want to talk about the scene when he's got all the mob bosses together, and he's like giving a speech about how they've been looking down on us. And he creates this sense of solidarity, and then what does he do? He immediately betrays all of them.
Yes.
Because Penguin's not a revolutionary.
He's not.
He's in it for himself.
Yeah, unlike the Revolutionary Penguin.
Yeah, fuck that.
Who might have also been. I don't even remember the plot. He might have also been. I don't know. Whatever.
That's what I would do. I would have him maybe use some high-minded revolutionary rhetoric, but first chance he gets to sell it out, he would do so.
And Penguin, everything from previous incarnations of Penguins that are loved are represented in Colin Farrell's Penguin. I love that. Love that he's able to manipulate people to do his bidding. Love that he by the way, you might notice he has a purple sports car.
Yes.
So
people make fun of him for it because it's very ubiquitous.
But that's his equivalent of Burgess Meredith's purple top hat. It's a modern day symbol of wealth that he uses to show extravagant wealth that he might not necessarily have, might not necessarily afford.
I mean, he's clearly financially doing okay.
Yeah.
He's just on very shaky footing otherwise. He could get whacked any second.
But I just think that's so smart because even though he's not always wearing a top hat, because that'd be like too anachronistic.
Yeah.
Other than
he is at the end.
Yeah, where he's coming back from a very formal party or whatever.
Yeah.
He has a purple top, which is a purple sports car, which is his version of a top hat.
And I don't know if past Penguins have had purple. What it was a specific make. It was like a Rolls or something.
I don't
wasn't
remember.
It?
Yeah.
I don't know if past Penguins have, but that feels like something classic Penguin would do.
Yeah, and I love that.
It feels right, and that's one thing I really like about that show and the Pattinson film is I love how they're able to take all of these very comic booky ideas and incorporate them into a much grittier and more realistic setting without feeling like they're giving up on they keep the movie, like all the stuff when they're trying to solve the Riddler's clues, that is classic. That is a Riddler story.
Yeah,
it's not as silly as in the '66 movie, but it's thumb drive.
Yeah.
Falcons have wings.
I love the Riddler.
That is a Riddler story.
Yeah,
they didn't just make a generic villain and then tell you it's the Riddler.
I didn't like the movie much. I liked it. I didn't like it as much as Danny liked it, mostly because I think I watched it twice and it's like 3 hours long. And
I've seen it twice, but I had a large gap.
Yeah. Also, you watched it at home, right?
The second time I saw it in the theater the first time.
Yeah, but I watched it twice in the theater, so like I couldn't pause or anything.
Oh, okay.
It was just kind of like I felt like I set myself up to fail on that. But no, it's a really great. Like you said, but I like the TV show more than the movie, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I might too.
Yeah.
The movie does have some pacing issues.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit too. Or I think they were trying to make a TV show when they made the movie. It's like a 3 hour long. And it's very episodic. The movie, what I mean?
It is.
It's like one thing after another.
Well, the Nolan movies are also very episodic, and I think that's what they were trying to do. Because like the whole,
I think the Batman's more episodic than a Nolan movie.
Maybe. They may have overdone.
Because they have the whole thing with the Penguin, and after that, then they have the whole thing with Bruce Wayne thing exploding, and after
the whole bit when they're at the stadium at the end, and it feels like the movie's over, and then we have another action set piece. And narratively, I see why we had to have that set piece, but it does feel like a bit much. It's not a perfect film, but if you haven't seen it, you the listener, it is, I think, one of the better Batman movies out there. It is absolutely worth seeing.
Before we move on, just one thing I want to call out. So in Penguin HBO, he has this like rivalry with Sophia Falcone.
Yep.
That actually started from Gotham Penguin.
Did it?
But I think that's I don't think it's in the comics, but it's such a great natural rivalry that,
they've got a lot in common.
Yeah, and also, because like Penguin's always trying to take over control from the Falcones after Carmine Falcone is out of business. Yeah. So I think it's weird that I don't think it's been adapted in the comics, but I think they should, because it's a very like natural progression of they're arch enemies because they hate each other and trying to wrest for control of the Gotham Underground.
Can we take a moment to briefly acknowledge Clancy Brown as Sal Maroni? That guy rules.
Yes,
Clancy Brown is awesome.
I remember when he broke out of prison. We're just spoiling the show, but
another SpongeBob actor.
Yeah. But he broke out of prison in Penguin HBO, and people on Reddit were like, this is a bit too unrealistic that a guy would just like bust out of prison like that. And I'm like, but he has experience as a prison guard. That's how he would know how to break out of a prison.
He's also just like super well connected, and like he could bribe some guys. Like
yeah.
when the Penguin goes to visit him in prison in like, is it the first episode?
Something like that.
It's very clear that like this dude might as well not be in prison at all. Like he's here because he deigns to. It's like in Goodfellas when they go to jail and they're giving like 3-course meals every day.
I'm sorry, I have to put him in front.
Okay.
I do.
He's
love
certainly more developed. I think
yeah.
he's less funny, but he's still pretty darn funny.
He is still pretty. I like. Remember when at the beginning of the video I said, "Oh, he represents like everything wrong with the world." It ends with him corrupting politicians.
Yeah, I mean those politicians are already a bit corrupt.
Well, yeah, but they're corrupt in the sense that they're taking bribes from people like the Penguin.
Yes. Yes, it's the Penguin who makes sense.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, I don't remember. This is from Gotham Knights, the video game.
Another video game?
I don't remember anything about him. Like,
he looks like he's supposed to be the Colin Farrell one.
Let's put him here. Whatever. He's just a penguin. If you ask AI to make a penguin, this is what you get. It's just
all right. If you're trying to create a version of the Penguin for your video game who is not any specific penguin, but just recognizable as the Penguin.
Yeah, that's what I think he does. Like betray someone at some point, so I guess that's cool. But whatever. I didn't play the game. I just watched the cutscenes on YouTube.
All right. If you, the listener, have played the game and disagree with us, let us know in the comments.
Maybe this version should be an S tier or whack tier.
Maybe.
Or whatever.
Like let us know what you think, and if we ever do a revised version, which we won't.
Yeah.
And by all, if you disagree with us about any of this, make your own list. And I don't mean that as an insult. Like, do it. It'll be fun.
Yeah. So at one point a few years ago, DC was like, "Oh, what if we did the Killing Joke and made it for like multiple other villains?" I thought it was a good idea. It was called Batman One Bad Day. So basically, in the same spirit of
like
the Killing
origin
Joke,
stories for the villains?
not necessarily origin stories, just like a story, like a self-contained story, where we kind of go in depth with a Batman villain. Some of them are pretty good. I liked the Riddler one. People didn't like the Riddler one. I liked him. I won't spoil it, but like you can go watch or go read it. I like the Clayface one because they really play up Clayface.
Clayface has a lot to work with.
Yeah,
and he's so underused.
They play him up as like a very like needy actor who's like killing people for roles and taking over them to the movies. I love that. I don't know why they don't do that more with Clayface.
Because he's very difficult from a special effects standpoint, and also because he needs you to put Batman in a more overtly fantastical world.
But even in like the comics, it's like he's always just like I'm a big tough guy, and it's like you don't play up his acting stuff. Play up the fact that he's like an artiste.
Well, which Clayface?
Basil Karlo.
Basil Karlo or Matt Hagen?
Basil Karlo.
Was Matt Hagen also an actor?
No, he was an archaeologist.
Okay.
Unless I
think it's Basil, not Basil.
Whatever.
Because Basil Karlo, we've talked about this before, is so clearly supposed to be Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
Like, who was also an actor known for his physical versatility and working with a lot of makeup. Very underrated actor, by the way.
Anyways, so then they did Penguin One Bad Day, where his was, like we said, remember when we said compelling Penguin stories, he has to either gain power or lose power and reclaim it. He gets one of his henchmen, who always holds his umbrella, called the Umbrella Man. He underestimates the Umbrella Man. The Umbrella Man takes over, and this is written by John Ridley, who also wrote the screenplay for 12 Years a Slave. The Umbrella Man takes over his empire, and then kicks him out of Gotham. And then Penguin has to fight his way back, starting with a single bullet. He uses a single bullet. He shoots another one, takes more bullets. Anyways, he gets a bunch of people on his side.
So it's kind of like the Emperor Penguin thing that we talked about.
Kind of a better done, because unlike that one where he's just like, oh, I'm going to team up with Batman. This one's like, I'm going to by myself, starting with only myself and a single bullet, fight my way, get allies to take down the Umbrella Man and reclaim my empire.
It's like those stories about someone who trades a ham sandwich for a coffee and
kind
gradually
of.
trades their way up to a Rolls Royce.
Literally, yes. It's actually a really good story. I like John Ridley as a writer. He also wrote the other history of the DC Universe. Read that. I'm going to put this in...
That sounds like a cool story.
Yeah, I'm going to put this in high A. I like it.
That good.
I think if you haven't read it, you should read it. This next one is from...
Again, looks too normal.
It's from The People's Joker, so not authorized by DC.
Okay.
I don't really understand what the idea behind his version of Penguin is, to be honest. He's like... He helps Joker the Harlequin, I think that's the character's name, it's been a while, like the main character, get like... He hosts like a comedy show that creates a career opportunity for the main character Joker. I don't really think there's much to him. He becomes...
It's more just
Batman?
like a cameo?
No, he's in it a lot. I just don't think his character is very well thought out, to be honest. Like, I don't really see He wants to be like, because the People's Joker, if you haven't watched it, it's like a very autobiographical story. What's the person's name about Verna Drew? I think
It sounds right.
Let me find it.
I've read a bit about this movie, but I haven't seen it, so
it's very good. Yeah, Vera Drew, because it's very like Vera Drew dissecting her own story as like a trans comedian. So I'm sure that this version of the Penguin is based on a real person, but I don't. As a Penguin adaptation, there's not much to it. It's just like, oh, I'm running.
I'll write you into the story, and I'll make you the Penguin.
Yeah, I guess in the sense that he has a club or something. He hosts comedians, and at the end, Mr. and Mrs. Pitlick helps him become Batman. I don't know.
Mr. and Mrs. Pitlick's in that?
Yeah,
I like him. He's a fun villain.
I'm gonna put him
I
here.
liked when Gilbert Gottfried voiced him on the Superman cartoon.
Ha ha! You think you're pretty smart, don't you?
I'm gonna put him there. I don't know. There's not much. I don't remember much about him.
All right.
Next one is this is the most recent canonical Penguin
in the comics.
Yeah,
that still image he's giving Major Jared Leto with ha 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 tattooed across his chest.
I don't know. I mean, he's drawn by different artists.
All right.
But so what happened was DC, I think it was called Future Infinite Frontier or something. They did something where it was like every single story that ever happened is now canon. So what they did with the Penguin is very clever. So this is written by Tom King. It's the Penguin. It's a 12-issue miniseries. It's very good. He wrote it where it's a full origin story of the Penguin where when he was starting up and forming a relationship with Batman.
A relationship?
Well, because, like we said, he's the information broker.
Yeah, okay.
And it really, because Tom King really explores the idea of Batman has this sort of more moral, like, turmoil of, like, I want to save lives, but in order to do that, I need to get information from the Penguin, and I need to turn a blind eye to the Penguin's, like, lesser, like, non-violent crimes.
Yeah, gambling.
Yeah, gambling and stuff like that.
Drugs.
And it's really explores, like, Batman's, like, grappling with this.
Okay.
But
that's a good thing to explore.
Yeah, but how that actually set it up is, okay, if you, Batman, go and stop this criminal and the only person who knew they were going to commit this crime is me, they are going to come after me. So what we need to do is make myself seem insane and therefore make you seem like the super smart detective and you're solving this by yourself. So I am going to put on this persona of someone going, whack, 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 like basically he's Silver Age.
Yeah, okay.
So people think I'm like a crazy person like Joker or Riddler or something. Well, I'm not. I'm actually like a very like rational, smart, and like brilliant person. I'm going to put it as an act. So and you can capture me. So they don't think I'm the one giving you this information. I thought that was so brilliant.
That's clever.
Because it's like, the editorial mandate was like, you need to somehow find a way to make every single story canon, even the ones that contradict each other. So Tom King was like, how am I going to do this? Okay, what if we do this? And that's so smart. And also because like...
I shall put on an antic disposition.
Yes. And so in this story, his children... The present day of the story, his children rests in control of... Gotham from him. He forms allies with these they're called the 4th of July. They're like very super powered people. They're all very clever. You can read it. He takes over, he kills his own children because why wouldn't he? He's the Penguin. And then he takes over Gotham again. I'm gonna put this in S tier too. I'm sorry. This is my favorite comic. Well, it's my favorite comic book version of the Penguin.
Okay.
I like that he fully corrupts Batman, except not with money, but with like information. And Batman has to grapple with the fact that like, yes, I am basically being corrupted by the Penguin, but like it is to save lives. I have rescued like people from like sex trafficking rings. I've like done all this thing.
The slippery slope.
Yeah, and it's like, who's using who? Am I using him for information, or is he using me for information?
Have I
become
it's like his muscle?
Yeah, and it's sort of like Batman sort of grapple with that, and I love that. So if you haven't read Tom King's Penguin, I know he's controversial, but I personally love most of Tom King's writing. So like, yeah, check it out.
This is a weird design.
This is from Merry Little Batman. It's this children's direct streaming movie where Damian Wayne is a little boy and he's like trying to be Batman. Batman's the father, he doesn't want him, and then he goes out and fight. And this is like a very old Penguin, and he's like in a wheelchair, but he's still underestimated. I don't know, he's kind of cool up, and I'm like, here, I don't know.
Why does he look like that? He looks like an actual bird.
Well, I mean, it's a very stylized children's cartoon,
okay.
right? So yeah, they made him look like they played up his
Okay.
like.
So like all the character
grotesque.
designs are
Yeah,
really...
yeah. It's a good movie. Like check it out. It's actually very, better than you think it is. This is from Absolute Batman.
He
so,
looks like the Gotham guy.
Yeah, but I don't like him because so he's like this is like so Batman so DC's trying to do their Ultimate Universe now, except it's separate and it's called Absolute Batman. So in this one, all of Batman's villains grew up with Bruce Wayne as children.
I hate it.
And Bruce Wayne isn't actually that rich.
I hate
but
it.
he's also just his dad died and not his mom. But it's supposed he's not
Who
rich.
dropped the pearls?
I know, but like he's not rich, but he still has a lot of equipment. So how can he do that? Also, if his mom is still alive, then he should be less angry than normal Batman, right? But somehow he's more angry. They didn't think it through. I don't like this because also he's handsome, and also I don't like that all his villains have the same backstory of being his friend.
Yeah, like you can use that for Hush and
Yeah.
one or two other guys, but like they can't all have grown up together.
Yeah.
It's like how Spider-Man, every single one of his villains is someone he knows, and
Yeah.
like okay, that's Spider-Man's thing, fine, but we don't need to do that everywhere.
Yeah.
Was there an all-star Batman and Robin version of the Penguin?
I hope not.
I know
That version was terrible.
the goddamn Batman.
Yeah, where Joker worked with Swastika Lady. Whatever.
As we have established, the Joker is a lot of things, but he's not a Nazi.
Yeah, unless he's written by Frank Miller.
Well, Frank Miller is a Nazi, so there we go.
Which is weird, though. Anyways, that he would make the bad guy the Nazi. This is Oswalda Cobblepot from Cape Crusaders. It's like a new animated show on Prime.
Yeah.
I've only seen the one episode. She's like, she owns an iceberg lounge. It's like, you should watch it. It's a good show. It's like alternate versions of all these characters.
All right.
Like Clayface, for example, isn't a clay monster. He's someone with like a literal clay face, so he only can like disguise himself. But he's like
Just his face?
yeah.
Oh.
But I think because he's like an actor who like had something splashed on his face, something like that.
Yeah. So he's a master of disguise, but he can't turn his hands into giant maces.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, you can see Penguin's a woman.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about Penguin as a woman because I feel like they should have made her more like what are female symbols of like wealth, instead of having her wear like a top hat and like just what like male Penguin would wear.
Yeah,
they should have her be like, oh, I'm gonna wear like a super long gown all the time, even when it's not appropriate, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, because so much of Penguin historically has been an exploration of male insecurities.
Yeah. So I feel like it would have missed the opportunity to make her like female insecurities.
I guess they're doing kind of like a Marlene Dietrich thing.
Yeah, because she's a performer.
Okay.
And she also does kill her son.
Good.
Just like a normal Penguin who kills his children. But I don't know. I'm gonna put like C like here. No, B like this B, low B, I guess.
Okay.
Because she is entertaining. She does kill her children. I do like that. I feel like there's maybe one step more to thought they could have made it better.
It's a new show though, right? Is it still running?
It's like I think it was like 2024.
Okay.
I don't know if it canceled or not, but it's on Amazon.
If
Prime.
they make more of it, do you think they could
Maybe
grow the character to a point that would bump her up to A tier?
I only watched the Penguin episode for the purposes of this tier list. I definitely have to catch up and finish it.
All right.
And finally we have this is Batman Dark Age by Mark Russell. This is if all of Batman were set in the 60s. This is like, this is a Penguin.
Like the Silver Age.
Yeah. This is Penguin, but he's like obsessed with like art, and he steals Andy Warhol paintings and stuff. I like the idea behind this because Mark Russell is a very like socially conscious writer. I met him; he's very nice.
Okay.
He wrote Second Coming, which is about Jesus and stuff. It's about like his interpretation of Christianity and how like Jesus would not approve of like the
most of what Christianity's become.
Yeah, and how like
fair.
Jesus' teachings and stuff.
That's also the plot to the movie Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter.
Yeah, but also Second Coming is about Jesus Christ meeting a superhero, so it's a fun read. You know what I mean?
All
It's
right.
not like some preachy thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, so in this one, it's like Batman's very like sympathetic to the villains, like just don't steal from poor people. It's okay to steal from like rich people.
Oh, all right.
But at the same time, I feel like that doesn't really work for the Penguin, whose whole thing is I am wanting to be one of the rich people. You know what I mean? So I feel like because like lumping him in with like the Riddler and the other ones as like, I'm gonna be sympathetic to you, I feel like is a missed opportunity to like explore Penguin as a symptom of societal's capitalist problems.
Yeah. obsession with wealth
Yeah.
and status.
I'm gonna put him here, I guess. Like, it's a cool design, but it could have been a bit more.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Warhol as someone he specifically was interested in, because on the 60s Batman show, I remember there's an episode, because you know how when they're doing the bat climb, sometimes like a celebrity guest will lean out the window and have a chat with them? And there's an episode where they meet Edward G. Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a whole conversation about art, because Edward G. Robinson was really into art, and he seems to very much dislike Warhol. And he says,
I think canned tomato soup is to eat, not to frame and hang on a wall.
Dali, Picasso?
Bit of an art buff yourself, aren't you, Batman?
I love that show.
yeah.
There's so many things about the 60s show that, like, are funny, but you're not sure if it's intentional or not.
Oh, it is so
One thing that made
intentional.
me laugh really hard is the Penguin has a cuckoo clock that comes out at, like, 5:20. And I'm like, why would a cuckoo clock come out at 5:20? That's
Because it's 1 hour after you blaze it.
I wonder what time it is.
At the signal, the time will be precisely 11:56. Quack, 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 quack.
Okay.
Why? Is there an answer?
No.
Because I don't know.
I think just because I don't know.
just weird.
That's the thing. I'm like, that's a weird thing. Was it intentional or was it just...
It's like at the beginning of The Room when Johnny's alarm clock goes off at 28 minutes after the hour. We don't see what hour because part of the clock's obscured, but...
It's just like, well, who's setting alarms to these specific... Anyways, that's our tier list. Went on long enough.
Yep.
Thank you for going through. We're not going to go through and like replace anything because there's so many Penguins.
Yeah, I'm happy with what we got.
But make sure to take our recommendations of like the shows and the comics that I'm referring to.
And the film.
Yeah, and the films. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've seen, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you've seen Batman movies. But okay, have a great day.
Bye.
Quack, 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 quack.